Hey, what's up, guys? Hartman here. We got a special guest today. We're picking the players in the best shape of their lives. It is August, so we got Fantasy Fitness on. Help us find the players in the best shape of their lives. How you doing today, Matt?
Doing good, Hartman. Thanks for having me.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, we've been planning it for a little bit, so nice to get on together. And
Absolutely.
I guess just with a start, and I had a few quick questions, before we hopped into it. So I was just kind of curious, like with best ball, with all this, like what kind of got you into best ball? How long you been playing best ball? You're like OG, just fantasy football redraft, and then kind of found this, or how'd that go?
Yeah. So, I mean, redraft is where it all started, about 15 years ago, just playing in like the office leagues, my jobs and stuff like that. And just when I was in college, found some leagues in college and started there. And then after that, got into Dynasty first, found some Dynasty content. I think it was actually Player Profiler, the Podfather, those guys, and then found Fantasy Flock, and basically got into the Dynasty content, got into a few leagues, and then about 4 years ago, I guess it's been now three. This is my third year playing, so 3 years ago, I found Best Ball, found Underdog, started doing drafts, and kind of just fell in love with Best Ball. So been drafting like crazy ever since, and trying to get better, trying to win one of these tournaments.
So, and was like watching Flock, is that kind of what got you interested in the making content, or were you like doing any kind of content stuff before this, or what kind of got you into the content streets?
Yeah, I definitely think Flock had something to do with it. I just thought the way he went about it, and how often he was streaming his content, just kind of his style and demeanor. I found him to be a pretty cool content creator and streamer, and kind of gravitated to some of his stuff. But the Podfather as well, Player Profiler. I would listen to his streams, more podcasts, but they were like longer episodes and stuff. He would really dive into things, and I just liked his style. He was a little arrogant and a little kind of edgy, but I found that to be kind of fun. And then I think at some point I just said to myself, like, I can do this too. I think maybe. So like, let's give it a shot. And I get out there and just kind of challenge myself to, go on and stream. And I think at first I was a little, self-conscious about it all. Like, oh, you're going to be judged and people are going to, hate on you in the comments and whatever. But I just kind of like said, screw it, man. Nobody else is, a lot of people aren't willing to do this. So the fact that you're even out here doing it, you're ahead of 95% of the people out there. So it's kind of the approach I took.
Yeah, and no, I like that. And I don't know, that's just something I'm always a little curious about. What kind of got you into the best ball and the content and all that. But no, I definitely agree with that. Yeah, it's like there's a lot of fear and a lot of like trepidation before you start, just worrying, what are people gonna think, all that, and then, but yeah, it's really just putting yourself out there and trying your best. I think the community as a whole is like pretty welcoming and
For
pretty
sure.
friendly. Sometimes over on Twitter they get kind of toxic, it feels like, but over on the YouTube side, they seem pretty friendly and welcoming for the most part.
Yeah, I think
Um,
I think it's all in your own head, right? Like you think people are going to think something more than it's actually going to sort of work itself out. And I think this is true like with anything in life. When you're going to do something new, or you're going to, try something different, it's 99% of it's just in your own head, and the rest of the world doesn't really give a crap. Like they don't even have the time for it. So you just have to realize that and go for it.
yeah, yeah, definitely. All right, so let's say what's up to the chat real quick, and then we'll hop right into a draft, get it going. We got Corey in the house. Morning, fellas. Hey, what's up, Corey? Thanks for stopping by, bro. Danimals, let's go. Hey, let's go. Thanks for stopping by, Danimals. Bill Muzio was a great analyst in those player profiler days. His rankings would always be really close to the actual season turnout. Is that your guy back in the day, Bill Muzio?
Yeah, Bill was there. I mean, that name is familiar. I guess I was more kind of into just like the general long form podcast content that Matt, the owner of Player Profile, would put out, but he'd bring on all sorts of good guests. I mean, he just had a way of kind of doing things. But yeah, the projections were really good, and just like the data and analytics in general were deeper than really anything else you could find. That was a little bit of my, why I did Fantasy fitness too. And I started creating the player profiles just because I liked what they did, but I wanted to do something a little different and create my own player profiles. And so that was sort of the, the seeds, if you will, of fantasy fitness when it first started. It's since gone a lot of different directions, but that was sort of, I looked at their website, Player Profiler, and then kind of said, I'm going to do something similar, and I'm going to build my own app that has some of those features, but has other features that I want. If I'm going to build my own app, this is the way I want it to look. So, yeah, but yeah, Muzio, I know exactly what he's talking about. He's a high stakes player. He's a total badass.
Nice. And then we got Money Anything. Boom. Hey, what's up, Jeff? Thanks for stopping by, bro. Nice background. Hey, appreciate it. Yeah, we still got Jeff likes the old school background, so we still got that popping. He was giving me a hard time for it for a while. But all right, let's hop in the BBM. This is BBM number 50 for me. So, not too crazy volume, but we're getting there, about to ramp up since it's August. We're going to hop into the BBM in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, we're in. So in BBMs, are you really employing any strategy in particular? Anything you're really liking, or just kind of play the board as it falls to you? Like how are you?
Yeah, I'm trying to be flexible. I mean, I'm not trying to, force anything or be too rigid with my approach. It's where am I on the board in this particular draft? And then I guess based on that board position, I'm kind of open to, different build types. I think some work better on certain parts of the board. Like I find it more difficult to do hero builds that I like on like the right side, just because of how the running backs fall. I think the hero builds are easier on the left side of the board. But I mean, I don't want to sort of like pigeonhole myself into some specific draft, like, roster construction. I certainly want to play the board and look for fallers and things like that. So trying to be flexible with my approach, and we'll see how it plays out at the end of the day. So yeah, it's kind of been my approach. How about you?
That's fair. No, I'm the same way. I try to remain fluid. I think the robust RBs and stuff I've maybe leaned into a little bit more this year than years past. I think a lot of people are, to be fair. But I try to remain fluid. Like I'll do a 0 RB, I'll do really robust, like hyper fragiles. Just kind of, whatever the board wants to give me, I'll just kind of try to play around it.
Nice.
Oh, and yeah, we got pick number 2. So nice. I always love getting pick number 2. One of the
Same.
top guys.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite spots.
Yeah. And then, so you're just Bijan Gibbs top 2. You don't mess around with that, right? Yeah.
No, because I don't know how many times I'm going to get it. And I feel like, I mean, I guess if I get towards the end of my portfolio and I haven't gotten enough Chase or Puka or something like that, maybe I'd pull up one of those guys. But outside of like a Chase or a Puka, I'm kind of like, let's get one of those top 2 running backs. And yeah, that's been my approach the whole time. It's been fine. I've gotten plenty of Chase. I think I'm at like 11% or something in BBM. So it's been hitting pretty nice on that third spot. The other, I've been lightest on 1. So, my exposure is the lowest on Gibbs, but I guess that's to be expected to some extent.
Yeah, that's a little bit. Yeah, that is a little unfortunate where it's just like the luck. I've actually been lucky with the 1 spot. So I have a good amount of Gibbs overall.
Oh, nice.
I've been really unlucky with 2 and 3. So like Bijan, I'm close to field, but like 3, I have like 5% Chase, and not intentionally. I take it at 3. Yeah,
I had a long stretch in like May and June where I got like 0 of the 5 hole, so I was at like 2%. I mean, I had a couple early, and then it was just like nothing, and I had like almost no JSN, and I started to get a little nervous. I'm like, damn, am I gonna have to start like pulling him up? Because I don't want to have no JSN. I mean, I know it feels like he's priced a little bit towards his ceiling, but that still, it's like, he's one of those guys. It's like in a tournament like this, he could matter. I know he has a tough matchup week 17 against JC Horn, and Jerry's been talking about that, and he told me he's been playing like Rashid Shaheed in case, mostly for the week 17 matchup. So I've been thinking about that a little bit, but yeah, it's just one of those things where you just never know what spots you're going to get. And after a certain amount of drafts, you start to go like, oh man, do I have to start like pulling players up or moving around the board a little bit here? But I've tried to just stay put, and then I'll get I'll start doing that here in August with my like last 40, 50 drafts.
Yeah, yeah, I'm kind of similar. I'm not freaking out too much about it yet. I'm hoping the variance kind of bounces back. And honestly, August, I'm gonna put in like way more volume than the rest of the months, like probably more than some of the early months combined. I think a lot of people are maybe similar where August is gonna be like August is usually people's heaviest month, probably.
Oh
But
yeah.
but yeah, I think yeah, it's like wait till late, and then like I would do the same with Chase. If I end up really low, I'd probably start taking him over Bijan or something at some point.
Yeah.
J-
Just
JSN,
the,
I'm gonna fade him though. I'm gonna
yeah.
fade JSN. I'm not worried.
Okay. I mean, at the end of the day, I did end up getting a few fives, and I think I'm up to like 7% or 6%. So I'm comfortable at those numbers. I don't want to be overweight him, but I
Mhm.
definitely didn't want to roll in with like 2%. So it's kind of where I'm at on that situation. What are you thinking here at 28? Are you you have a particular player in mind that you want to target here, or you
Uh,
what you open to?
I mean, I picked quite a bit of Nico. I like neighbors. I'm willing to buy him at these prices, but I'd be fine passing as well. I mean, we can go a little bit more towards what do you usually do in this spot? I'm cool with
I mean,
any
I just mix it up
receiver.
between Nico and Pickens. If I mean, I wasn't taking neighbors there for a while, but now that he's back, I'm open to it. But he just went, so I
He
would say,
went.
yeah, either of these two guys, I'm fine with.
Um, yeah, I slightly lean to Nico, so if it's either, I always slightly lean to Nico. I like
Yeah,
him quite a bit.
for sure.
Pickens, I think Pickens is totally good too. It's just I don't know, Nico when he's healthy, I think he's just been so consistently like a top receiver.
Oh yeah.
And what where are you feeling on the way back?
Um, I would be, I'd be fine with, I guess, any of those top three. I don't know. I haven't been. I always hesitate to take Rashi Rice, but if you like him, I'm cool with that. Otherwise, Jeremiah Love, I like pairing him up with Bijan,
Oh,
but
okay.
it's up to you. I don't know. How do you feel about those two? Or was there another guy you liked?
No, I'd probably be one of the two. I kind of like Zay. I like Zay Brees Olave quite a bit, but I'm not usually pulling him up there. I'm a little bit
Yeah.
lower on Jeremiah Love. I'm not a big believer. I'm kind of a believer in the talent, but like as far as I don't know, I think he's gonna split work on a terrible team is kind of my perception on him. I think he's talented, but I guess just my problem is I think it's a bad team and he's gonna split work. How do you feel? Do you feel like he's just gonna like dominate the touches, or is he just such a supreme talent that like even on limited touches you still want him? How
Yeah,
do
I
you
think
feel about
that's my
Love?
argument is just on even if it's lighter touches, he's just such a supreme talent, like one of the best running back prospects probably to come out in the last, I guess probably since Genti, but I think he's a better prospect than Genti personally. Um, but I guess my argument for him is like I don't like him as my one. If we were to go like Chase Neighbors and then we're getting him as like a one, I don't like that build as much. When you're pairing him up with a Bijan or a Gibbs or a CMC or something like that, then it feels just more palpable. And then you don't have to rely so much on early season production because you got your hammer kind of up top. So it's really about the pairing for me and how I'm building with him more so than just him by himself on a bad offense. He's just so talented and he has the breakaway run. So I see it as like best ball spike weeks. If he can give us some mega spike weeks, which I think he can, he'll be inconsistent. But I don't really care about that so much. Obviously, with your top guys, you don't want just spike weeks, right? That's where you get into like 10th round plus, where you're like, okay, I show up, be gone for 3 weeks, come back and hit me with a mega spike week. But I think he's more than that. He will be inconsistent, excuse me, but I don't think he's a bad pick. I just don't think he's a great pick. It's kind of where I'm at.
That's that's fair, yeah. Yeah, and like I don't know. That is always the thing in best ball. It's like even guys who like I can completely see the case where it feels like Jeremiah Love will probably not quite hit his price on the season long aspect, but in best ball and especially with like the tournament, the pods, right? Like a guy like that who can hit any given week is still worth it. Even for like someone like me who feels like maybe his season long will be a little bit disappointing. It obviously any week since he can spike in best ball, that's still extremely valuable and their good playoff schedule, I think, does a lot of heavy lifting as well. like, you know, that really strong 3-week stretch when it's
Oh
20
yeah,
weeks. I think
it's
that does
killer.
a lot of yeah. Oh no, we got a couple more people popping in. My last BBM was a hero wide receiver build. Never even really considered that type of build, but really like how it turned out. You can make any strategy work. I think hero wide receiver is actually a really strong strategy this year. I think those teams usually feel pretty good. You like go away from it till the fourth, fifth with like an Amon-Ra, Jefferson, or something up top.
Those are
Those can
fun.
feel really good.
Yeah, if you can get like one of those guys in the first round, I feel totally comfortable doing the hero wide receiver builds.
Yeah. And we got Fantasy Dog in here. Things just got real. Number 5 like. Hey Heart, Matt. What's up, Fantasy Dog?
What's up?
Oh yeah. And I know Fantasy Dog is subscribed over on Fantasy Fitness, but hey, if anyone else if you're not subscribed over there, we're co-streaming it. So, you know, go over to that channel, check it out, drop a subscribe. Matt's streaming, you're streaming pretty much every single day, right? Or really
Trying
close.
to, yeah. It's now that we're in August, it's like my contract for work just ended. I'm a computer programmer and I do like contract work. I guess let's make this pick and then I'll kind of tell you just so we can talk through it. What do you like here?
I mean, I'm fine with Loveland, McLaurin, or any of these running backs. I'm also fine with Devontae, but probably like top 5 guy.
Yeah, for
What
sure.
do you like? What do you like?
I like Loveland. He's harder to get now, so I would be cool with Loveland for sure. Just
Mhm.
um, I,
And do you think McLaurin should be falling with the Diggs news?
I mean, I know he's naturally going to fall. It makes sense, you know. People are going to react to it, but I still like him as a click, especially if he's going to be moving into the 5th round now. So we could go with him here, or if we wanted to get even more robust at running back, I would be cool with like Monty. So you pick whichever one you like. I'd say any of those top 3, I'm cool with.
Any of these top 3 you're cool with?
Yeah. And if
I
you want to pick
feel like
somebody else, it's your stream. You do whatever you want. But those are the 3 I like.
oh yeah, you know, those are the 3 I like as well. I would probably lean the receiver, one of the receivers over Monty. I think we're good at running back right there.
Okay.
I like the Terry fall. I
Me too.
mostly like Terry because I think there's a chance we get Jaden back. So I love Jaden Daniels, so I tend to be a little bit partial to Terry.
100%.
Uh,
I actually had
um,
Terry up in my ranks before the Dig signing at like 42. I think I had him in my ranks because I did that explicitly to get Jaden at 68, 60, you know, or what is it? Yeah, 68, 65, somewhere in there.
oh
Or
yeah,
what am I
yeah.
looking at here? Is that right?
68 would be
67.
the 6'8" or
Yeah,
like
no,
six
moreover, I
seven.
guess we're like under where Burden is, you know, whatever. I don't see it quite as clear with the
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, yeah. You
67,
pulled Terry up a
66. Yeah,
little.
in that range, right? Because you had a really good chance of getting him there on the way back. And so I was like intentionally taking him kind of here in the mid 4th in order to get that stack with Jaden. Now he's moving into the 5th. It's going to be even better, right? Because you can get him as a 5th rounder now instead of a 4th rounder.
Yeah, the only downside I see is like at this pick, I think it's really debatable whether you get Jaden back. Like you were saying, you were pulling him up. So with him falling into the 5th, it's like it might be a little bit harder to get the stack if you don't pull him up. But I don't
Right.
know.
What I think might
Quarterback,
happen
some rooms
though.
they
Oh, go
fall.
ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
I was going to say, if the market continues to react to the Diggs news, you'll be in rooms where people are just going to be like, you know, I don't want to touch this guy. He might move into you might be getting him at pick 54, 55, and then coming back and getting Daniels there. And you've basically picked up a 4th rounder that you couldn't get before when he was going in that mid 4th range. So it'll be interesting to see how the market reacts to this Diggs news and how far into the 5th he goes. Maybe we just got lucky here and he's going to stay at kind of the early 5th. But I do think there's just going to be some rooms where, you know, people are just going to hear the Diggs news. They're going to sort of be like, I don't want to touch him. We'll see how far he's going to fall. And you might get him mid 5th and then circle back and get Daniels at like 66, 67, something like that. And pair that up with a Burden or an Evans or something that you weren't necessarily getting, you know, a month ago or whatever. So it'll be interesting to see how that all plays out here as the market moves in August.
Yeah, no, and that's a good point. I mean, if Diggs does get a little bit more hype, we might see that where McLaurin's falling closer to like that Christian Watson range or DJ Moore range.
Right.
You know, not as much right like tethered to that end. So yeah, no, that is a good point. And if you can pick up an extra 4th, you're gonna have a pretty big edge on those early McLaurin teams. You know,
Yeah.
Some people even pull him up higher in the fourth than that. Like I've seen him even on the turn and stuff. Like,
Right.
you know, like
In
yeah, he
order to
might
make
have
that
a
happen. So
decent
it'll be
zone line.
interesting.
Uh, what's up, fellas? Hey, what's up, Wilson? Thanks for stopping by, bro. Yo, money boom, drop bomb on me. ARSB greater than JSN IMO. Sharpest thing I ever heard. Kriya, thanks for stopping by, bro. Good morning, fellas. Hey, what's up, nice and blunt? Thanks for stopping by, bro.
What's up?
Um, oh yeah, we got Mike Boldock hit him with the gritty. He was telling us to go Jameson and Watson there. You know, supreme ball knower. Are you familiar with hit him with the gritty?
Oh
Are you
yeah.
familiar with them?
Of
Okay, yeah,
course. You can't be out on Twitter and not see those hit him with the gritty builds.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
always
What's
checking
up,
them
Mike?
out. They're, you know, a little bit more extreme, which I like. It's like I always look through them and it's like testing my, you know, like my roster construction, and just I like to see how other people think through these problems, because really, like, to me it's a puzzle. Like what we're doing here is we're kind of, you know, solving puzzles, and so everybody looks at it a little differently. So I love to see other people's builds, especially when they're a little bit less sort of you know, standard, if you will.
Yeah, yeah, it goes against the grain a little bit. Like
Yeah.
he's a free thinker. He's not just you know, I like me, I say sometimes I'm a slave to ADP. So, you know, but like it's nice to see a free thinker out here every once in a while.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is this guy gonna snipe us? Oh, okay. So Jaden, right?
Oh yeah,
I
100%.
mean, yeah. Okay, yeah. I wonder, I kind of want to see what's my combo with Terry. 33% Jaden with Terry. That feels decent.
Yeah,
That's not
that's
too
good.
bad. And then what do you like? So this is a spot I would say this is one of the grosser spots to me is the seventh round range. What do you
100%.
like to do here when we could go Caleb even, or do we want a receiver or running back? Because we have Loveland.
Yeah, I mean, I like, if we are going to go receiver, it's probably going to be, oh, Metcalf went. Damn it. I was hoping Metcalf would be there. Um, man, it's kind of ugly here. I would say Pollard, if we want to grab a running back, I'm cool with him here. I don't love the pulling the wide receivers up to this range, so I'd probably be Pollard or Caleb.
Which one? Pollard or Caleb? Your pick.
Let's go Pollard. I think Pollard's an awesome RB3
All
on the
right, I'm
build. I
fine with.
think he's a good flex. You know, not a great offense per se, but I think they will ascend a little bit this year. Second year from Ward. I know he's not the best number one overall prospect that's come out recently, but they did get the upgrade at coach, and I guess I'll consider Dable an upgrade at OC. If they can just get more red zone opportunities and he can get a few more touchdowns. He's been good with the yardage, and he's still been pretty efficient in both the running and passing game. So I think if he can get a slight uptick in his touchdowns, I think he can definitely pay off this price. I don't know how you feel about that, but I think that's kind of where I'm at with Pollard.
I think I'm pretty much with you there. I like Pollard's price quite a bit. I don't really like. I know they're talking two workhorses, blah blah blah, with Tyjae Spears, but I don't think Tyjae Spears has really shown an ability to take away rushing work. I think he just has this nice little receiving role. You know, like I think Tyjae's a decent pick where he goes 'cause he's so late, but like he
Yeah.
has this nice little receiving role and all that, and he's nice if Pollard goes down. But if Pollard's healthy, I think he has that receiving or that rushing role locked down. I like betting on the Titans too to be an improved offense. I mean, you look at all they added. I mean, right, Tate, Wandale, coaching changes, all that. So I'm pretty happy grabbing Pollard there. I like him quite a bit.
Yeah, we're a
The
little light at
Caleb,
wide receiver, but I think we can make it work. We have, you know, we have Nico as an anchor, so we'll be in a good range here to get like a Pittman Jr. or a Michael. I like a Michael Wilson. I know you're lower on Michael Wilson, but like those types of guys in this range, we'll see what happens. But I think we'll be fine. We got the anchor up top.
yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, I think that makes sense. And it feels good with those three running backs. Like that feels totally solid. Oh, we got a couple more people stopping by. I like the ender on head. Hey, thanks, Bo. Appreciate
Yeah,
it.
me too.
Yeah, see, I can't. This is my main like fashion piece. Always wearing the Enron hat. Hartman, what's good, my dude? Hey, what's up, Iron Throne FF? And Iron Throne, you know that's a big creator league. We got some of your favorite creators in there. Definitely go check out Iron Throne if you don't know. But I'm in that league, so it'll be a good time over there. GM boys, hey, what's up, Jerry? Thanks for stopping by, bro. GM. We got Mike hitting with the gritty in the YouTube chat. Appreciate it, bro. Appreciate it. Have make it work one time that everyone will laugh at me. Hey, I don't think people are laughing as much anymore. I think I think you've evolved. I've seen some of your builds this year. They look pretty good. And if anything, the Sims are copy and hit them with the gritty. Let's be real. I see these Sim bros, going 4 straight running backs and shit, picking the elite quarterbacks on top of it, not picking a receiver till the 8th round. I know who they were learning from.
Oh yeah.
Nice to see you drafts now. So why did see exactly? Yeah, you were just ahead of your time. Hey, Jerry. Beck shows huge impact. Boom. Beck did look good. And then we got Mick Nix. Hey, what's up, Mick Nix? Thanks for stopping by, bro. My best ball portfolio is going to fall on around like trajectory. Hope not. I hope not, brother. Hey, but they were up for a while. They were up for a while. So hit that big win, then hit the withdraw button. Don't forget. But
what do we got here
right.
coming up at 96? Anything good on the board?
All right. Well, thankfully, Caper helped us out. He took Michael Wilson so that we couldn't.
Okay.
So happy to see that.
Ooh, this Godwin fall would be fire if he falls all the way back.
I'd be happy with that. I like you called out Pittman earlier. I like Pittman quite a bit.
I think I would take either of those two guys at this point. I mean, the guy next to us has 4 wide receivers, so we could try to push. But I mean, Godwin at 95 is that's a steal, in my opinion.
Well, yeah, and I'd probably be 2 receivers if we can get both.
Definitely.
Yeah, because none of these quarterbacks really matter for us, right? And then it would just be if you really like one of these running backs, like if you really prefer them and you want to lock up that 4th, I'm fine with that as well.
I would have said maybe consider Corum if we wanted to get into that week 17, but with him off the board, we just grab Pittman here.
All right. I like that. Yeah, that was what I was thinking too, was maybe if Corum made it, maybe we decide to get the 4th and we can kind of be like close to done. But yeah, with him going, do you see that Ja'Cory at 97?
Oh, dude, it's done, man. The whole Corey JCM hype is real at this point, man. He's like top 100 now in a lot of drafts.
Yeah.
I was trying to get him in like the 120, not the 120s, the teens there, round 10, and I was like missing him a lot by like 1 or 2 picks, and Jerry's been pulling him up a lot in some of his drafts, and he brings up a lot of good points. He really is. We don't really know his potential in this range. He does seem like a really good kind of high upside click. I still like Rachaad White personally because he's very involved in the passing game, and he's been one of the better pass catching running backs in the last couple of years. He's inefficient between the tackles, but in the passing game, he's very efficient. So you kind of get the trade off with Rachaad White. He's falling now though, and so I'm actually back to buying him. I kind of cooled off after he got up into like the 110s and earlier. But when he was going back in like the 120s earlier, like, midsummer, I was clicking the crap out of him there.
Yeah, I'm kind of similar to you. Like I have the most Katron Allen, which like, but he was an 18th round pick, so whatever.
Makes sense.
But I have more Rachaad White than JCM, and now I've been buying JCM. But yeah, it's like if the price is going to be that much higher, it's going to be kind of hard to get my exposures on JCM now. I'm going to try to grab more, but if Rachaad White's falling and JCM's rising this much, then yeah, I'm kind of with you. It's like, all right, I'll just buy more Rachaad White then and hope JCM doesn't smash me.
For sure.
We got Best Ball on Call. What's up, Best Ball on Call? Thanks for stopping by, bro. Sean Corum's been a riser. Yeah, he has been a little bit. No fancy dog. Co-streaming, you wild great bastards. LOL. Hey, what's up, Mike Rob? And yeah, we're co-streaming it. I think it should be linked right, in the icon. So if you don't know, check out Fantasy Fitness, streaming pretty much every day. Oh, and you were gonna mention earlier your kind of what's going on lately with you and all that. Before we were on that turn, like your contract.
Oh, shoot, I'm drawing a blank exactly. Oh yeah. So I'm a computer programmer and my contract ended. So now I'm kind of in between contracts. I'm working on the Fantasy Fitness application. So I'm adding a lot of features there. But since I don't have like a formal contract at the moment, I'm going to be I have more time. I'm going to be doing more streams to kind of fill that void until I either land another software development contract or, I don't really want a corporate job. So I'm avoiding like actually going into the office and stuff. We'll just have to see how the market looks. But as of right now, I've got a lot more time. And so I will be streaming a bit more, trying to do more collabs. I'm going to be on with Hames on Wednesday. We're going to do one. Let's check out this pick and then I'll blab some more.
All right. So do you like a quarterback or
I
receiver? I
like I
kind of
like Concepcion and Higgins. Higgins, if we wanted to, that would open up like a Stroud back
like the
stack. But
double.
I do like Concepcion maybe a little bit more. I don't know how do you feel about those guys?
I like Concepcion a little bit more. That would be a
Oh,
Houston double, which I
okay.
don't mind.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
like the Houston double actually. I think that's fun.
yeah, I don't. I do lean Concepcion a little bit, just like in a vacuum, but I think it's close
Sure.
enough. And with the double, it's kind of interesting. I don't feel like I do this much. I have a lot of Nico. I can actually, or we make this pick. What do you like here?
Um, I like Kincaid. I think he's a good click. I like we
Agree.
could get Shakir, Coker, any of those guys. I'm kind or where are we at with running backs? Do we want C-Rod for that game?
I
We could do
mean,
that
that's
too.
fine. What do you want,
Yeah.
Kincaid or Sierra?
Oh, sorry. I was fine either
Yeah,
way. I think they're Kincaid's. What's the bye weeks? We good on? Not that it really
we're
matters.
good.
It's 8 p.m. Yeah, yeah. Let's
Yeah,
go
we
Kincaid.
don't have any like overlapping stuff. We're pretty much
I
good.
think we're done at tight end now. We've got the elite with Loveland, and I think Kincaid's kind of set up to have a really good year this year. So we'll do those two. We're done at tight end, and then we can hopefully we get this Stroud stack, and then maybe we just tack on something late like a Rogers. We could probably stop at 2 with Stroud and Daniels. I'd probably prefer a third, but I'd want it to be like a cheap piece, like a Rogers or something like that. I don't know. How do you
Um,
feel about 2 quarterback with Stroud and Daniels? Do you think that's you stop at 2, or would you prefer a third?
I think you're totally like reasonable to stop at 2. I wouldn't hate on anyone's build, but I'm pretty 3 QB pilled. Like I'm a pretty big 3 QB guy. And Aaron Rodgers, I mean, my ears perked up when I hear Aaron Rodgers. I believe that's my highest owned quarterback. So 17%, I guess not that crazy, but I think he's my highest owned still. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah,
he
I
would
love
definitely
getting
be a
Rodgers
target
as
back here for us. I think. Um, Especially if we don't get Stroud. But if we get Stroud, then I still think we keep him on the short list.
yeah,
Let's
yeah.
look at the build real quick and just kind of see how it's shaping up in the different rooms.
All right, I'll read it off for the audio listeners out there. So we got 1-3-5-2 so far. Jaden Daniels, Bijan Robinson, Jeremiah Love, Tony Pollard, Nico Collins, Terry McLaurin, Chris Godwin, Michael Pittman, Jaden Higgins, and then Colston Loveland, Dalton Kincaid.
Yeah, that looks like a good team to me. I don't know. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, I feel pretty good so far. I think we're really well balanced. Nothing feels too weak. I actually really like Kincaid. I've been trying to get more of him. If he's healthy, he was basically the most efficient tight end in the NFL last year on like every receiving metric. So I
Yeah,
think he feels good as the 2, and we can definitely stop with those 2. And yeah, none
that's
of our
just a
rooms
fun
really feel
pairing.
weak.
I
It's
think
really
that's a fun
balanced.
pairing.
Yeah, definitely, because they can both hit huge spikes. And like, Loveland hopefully gives us a little bit more of that floor, but it's like they can both hit big spikes. And I think pairing Kincaid with an elite always feels really good because he's going to be more inconsistent and stuff, I think, this year, even healthy, just with his more limited snap share, he's probably going to be somewhat inconsistent, but he can hit
Mhm.
those big spikes and those big plays. And it's like it's nice pairing him with an elite and just being done there and calling it good.
Yeah, and we're buying 2 top 5, top 10 offenses, right? So, and just sometimes I'd like to take a step back and not even look at the player and just go, what team am I buying? What quarterback is this player tethered to? How good is this team going to do? What's their Vegas wins over under total, right? And I think sometimes we can get so like entrenched in our player takes that sometimes we just need to take a step back and be like, dude, I'm buying the Buffalo Bills like tight end. You know what I mean? And it's probably just going to work itself out. Like I don't need to be like the player take guy on every single player. And I do obviously have a lot of player takes, but I think sometimes as best ball players we can make that like our whole thing. And I sometimes you just got to take a step back and look at the macro view.
Yeah, I
So
think that's fair,
just
like,
a thought.
really good situations. Yeah, but I mean, I do think with Kincaid, even as a player take thing, like,
Yeah,
the
it's good
underlying metrics are there,
for sure.
like, all the because I don't think, like I don't know, I kind of agree with you that, like, good situations, you definitely don't wanna just avoid them or get too, like, set in your ways about a player, but, like, I don't know, I do think some guys are can be less valuable. Like I'm not a big Shakir guy. I'm a pretty big Shakir hater. Because I think
Stroud's
he's
still
decent
there.
every year.
We're gonna
Yeah,
get him, right? I think, unless this guy takes him.
yeah, we should be good. He's covered. Um, yeah, so we'll definitely grab Stroud. And then do you like so
I would
we don't
probably
need
try to
Chig.
take. I would probably try to. Yeah, who do you like here? I mean, Woody's
Uh
interesting. We would get a triple out of it. I don't think this guy's going to take either of these players, so I think we're fine either way. I'd probably just grab Stroud since we already have the
let's
double.
just yeah, let's just grab Stroud. I'm not super I like Woody's fine. You can see I'm close to field, but he's just the only running back up here. I'm not like we can pick someone else. I don't really
I
care.
think it falls off a little bit after him, to
I
be
agree.
honest. And he is involved in the passing game, so I think he helps out this team quite a bit. And then, we just tack one on at the end that has kind of we can tell ourselves a story about like a later guy. I mean, Trey Tucker's interesting too. I would be fine with. I always like taking Trey Tucker, so I'd be good with that. But I think, I don't know, it's close. You
You
pick.
think we'll get the triple. We're all in on Houston on this build.
Yeah.
Houston is going to smash this year. They're being underpriced, and all of them are being underpriced. Let's just get an offense that's going to beat expectations and go all in on it. I think that's always a decent bet, and it's not like we spent crazy capital on anyone other than Nico. I mean, all our other guys are, Higgins even is at pick 119. That's our biggest investment other than Nico. So I
Right.
think it feels fine to go crazy on an offense like that when it's like we got one high end piece, but all the rest are very cheap. If they beat expectations significantly, then it's good to be like kind of all the way bought in. It's not like the Cardinals or something where you got to spend a ton of like high capital, or even like the Jets where it's like you'd have to get like Garrett and Brees or something. Like we spent relatively low capital outside of Nico, at least, for quarterback and the other pieces.
Right. And I love Monty, to be clear, but I think when you get into these builds and like we kind of passed on him, the story you kind of tell yourself is, on this build in particular, Monty's going to have an average season. We passed on him. We took McLaurin instead, or we took Loveland, I guess it was, one of those guys. We're basically saying by taking Woody Marks, he's going to have a more significant role than we, maybe are anticipating. Let's get him on this build, right? Otherwise, we would have taken Monty in the story that we're telling ourselves. I know it's not. If I'm doing another build, I'm telling myself a different story about Montgomery, right? But in the context of this particular build, since we passed on him, we're essentially saying Marks is going to have a bigger role. Let's grab him on this build. That's kind of how I like to think sometimes when I'm building, in the context of a single draft. Now I go into another draft, I tell myself a different story about Monty, right? But in this particular context, that's kind of how I think of it when I pass on a player that's in the same backfield and I'm getting his backup, if that makes any sense. Because I do try to do
Yeah.
some storytelling and narrative when I'm in the context of a specific build.
Oh yeah. No, I totally agree with you there. Like, yeah, you got to assume in this build that either Montgomery, is either having a down season and they're more of a true 50-50, or an injury happens, something like that, obviously. But like, it's like, I think to me the big thing is like Tracy and Woody Marks feel like guys who are going to get some work even if the starter's healthy. And how much, I guess that's kind of more the narrative of like when this build, maybe it's closer to a 50-50 where maybe our normal thought is more like it's a 20-80 or 30-70 towards Monty. But it's like this build is a 50-50, split. But
Right.
I think the guys after, it's just they feel like a lot less guaranteed that they're getting some touches, where like with Woody and Tracy, I think you're hearing that they're both gonna get touches. They're gonna be used in the receiving game some. You feel like maybe at least if they sneak in the end zone, they can hit your lineup even with the starter healthy. Where I personally don't feel as confident with the guys after them in general.
Oh
That's the
yeah,
same
it feels
case.
like a drop off. I mean, I like Tank, but he's. I mean, are they going to take Saquon Barkley off the field to play Tank? I don't know. What do you like here?
Uh I don't mind buying the Jalen McMillan fall. I don't know if you
Same.
heard, he's like day to day. It's not even like
Yeah, I'd be all for that. I like him.
yeah, I'm not a huge McMillan guy, but I think right now is this is like 20 pick fall.
Oh
So
yeah, let's scoop this. I mean, it's not. It's a sore knee. It's not anything significant from what I read. So
yeah.
let's take the dip on him.
Todd Bowles. I mean, like it's kind of great if you actually listen close, but he's like kind of generational at just like overstating the injuries. Remember, like Bucky won't be back till the fall. You know, Jalen McMillan, no timetable, and then it's like, oh yeah, no, he's day to day.
Do we grab Rodgers here? Or do we grab another wide receiver? I'd probably
I'm fine
just
with
grab
Rodgers. I don't
Rodgers.
really, yeah, none of
Yeah, we
these
have.
receivers mean much to me. I mean, you really like one.
No, I want Rodgers. I think he's kind of the piece we want here. That solidifies the wide receiver room or the quarterback room, and we're done
Mhm.
there. And we're done at tight end. So now we, with these last, what is it, 3 picks? I guess we
Yeah.
probably add one more running back and two more wide receivers,
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
or
yeah,
two
probably.
more. I
We could
guess we
even
can.
go. We could go 3-6-7-2 or 3-5-8-2. I think either one makes sense. Depends who
I
falls.
generally don't go 6 when I have Bijan, and if I'm getting another one like and Love, if I'm doing 2 in the top 3 rounds, generally I'm stopping at 5. But this is where I'm always like, what is the board leaving us? What is the talent left on the board? I never want to just sort of say, nope, I got to go 3-5-8-2, because we took 2 early running backs or whatever. Like it's always about what's left on the board for me. I wouldn't even be opposed to like another tight end if it's just like everything else is dried up and like Pat Fryermuth is there with the in the 18th round. It's like, okay, well then screw it. We're gonna take Pat Fryermuth at 216 or whatever. Like I try to be very flexible towards the back here. Um just
I,
because there's no reason to be rigid, right? You should be trying to max the talent on the team.
oh yeah, yeah. I even have a BBM that's a 4 tight end build because it was Pat Fryermuth in the 18th round. I think my first tight end was like, I don't know, it was like Goddard or something maybe. And then it was like 18th round, it was Fryermuth, and I didn't like any of the receivers or running backs. I'm like, screw it, I'll just go 4. Like,
Yeah.
it's just when that guy feels like he has a better chance to actually hit your lineup. I think
Right, because
yeah,
he can
it
still hit
always
the
makes sense.
flex, right? If the guy on the board has in your mind has the best chance of hitting the flex, well then take that guy, right? Unless you are just like, I guess, super light on running backs and it's like a volume play at that point. But if you've got your core in place, which I think we do, then we should be chasing down, the guy we think that can hit our flex. I think is where I'm at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, no, yeah, I think yeah, I agree with you, especially like you said in a build like this where we don't really feel behind anywhere, I don't think, right? Like we
No,
feel pretty comfortable at all positions. So yeah, I think it totally makes sense.
yeah, I mean, if we're
Um
light anywhere, I guess it might be wide receiver because I feel like the other 3 rooms are just stacked with talent, but that's more just like a numbers thing than it is like the actual players. The players are sick. It's just we're light, more lighter on volume here. So, what do you like in terms of these wide receivers over here, and I guess running backs?
wow, there's a lot of good tight ends falling, but yeah, we'll wait on that. I
Unless I mean, if you like a tight end, yeah, I'm open to it, right? If like that's where the value is, 191
kind
for
of I kind of like Barner, but like
that is pretty sick price.
it's not like I okay, he goes. Okay. That works out. Because I was thinking it's probably not the right pick to take Barner, but it was a decent value, but nice that he goes. So we don't have to make the decision.
I
Who does
like
your
Bateman
CV?
here. I like Bateman in this range. I don't know how you feel about Bateman. He's been getting some good camp buzz.
I don't have much, but I'm fine getting more Bateman because I agree the buzz has been going off for him. You want to get Bateman then?
Yeah. I
We
think
could look at
Antonio
running
Williams
back
is
as
he's gonna
well.
fall like to the 18th round, or he may even start falling out of drafts because of the Diggs news. He might be like an 18th round click if you have like a Daniel stack, but he'd be like the last guy we would get here if we wanted him.
Yeah, I agree. I'm pretty much with you there. All right. What do we like here?
I'd say yeah,
Running
Keenan
back.
is a good pick. I like the Keenan call out. Jeremy
Jeremy's
Bernard
kind of
makes some sense.
yeah.
Why don't we go Keenan?
Yeah, Keenan's probably the best pick here. None of these running backs really like I think it kind of fell off to the 18th round guys already, basically, unless you're a big Tucker guy. But
I'd be
yeah,
okay with
Keenan.
Tucker, but he's been falling, so we'll see what's left with it for us there in the 18th round.
Oh, and did you see too, maybe another little feather in Keenan's cap? Josh Downs today got a groin injury. So, that definitely definitely
So that
doesn't feel
might
good
that
for
might
him.
incentivize the Colts to sign him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, and like I don't know the Pierce, like yesterday, I think it was Steichen said Pierce still has no timetable to return. Downs picked up a groin injury today. They've already been talking to Keenan. It sounds like maybe they should get it in motion, get him in camp.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
that's sooner rather than later, I would say.
yeah.
But I'm sure Keenan
Um,
doesn't mind, right? Avoiding the hot training camp days. He's probably sitting at home chilling.
oh yeah, yeah, most definitely. All those vets, I think Keenan knows the playbook. He knows the system. He's been playing the NFL forever. He can figure it out in a short amount of time. He doesn't need to be running in the summer heat.
Hmm.
Yeah.
What do
Uh,
you? Let's look at the running backs that are left and see if there's one we can like tell ourselves a story about. That could hit late season. If there's anything we like there, I think the black one makes some sense just because he looks like he might be emerging as the two. James as well. I mean, we could take either of those guys. Just backups to CMC. I also like
feel free
Connor,
to shout anyone.
just because
Connor,
Connor might get traded. I don't
I
think. I
think
mean,
that's
I
a
know
good
we'd be taking
shout.
him on a love team, but I think we're taking him with the idea that he's probably not going to be a Cardinal. I don't know. I'm
Yeah,
fine with any of
yeah.
these guys. I like Vidal too a little bit. I mean, he's kind of been forgotten about, and I'm a little lower on Hampton in general. I still click him in the mid second, but I have some concerns. Like his rookie year was not, I think, what we were all hoping for from a first round running back.
Yeah.
Granted, that
Yeah.
offensive line was completely decimated last year with Joe All and Slater and all those guys getting beat up. So I don't want to put too much weight into his rookie year, but I had to say he left a little bit to be desired.
Yeah, I agree. He was a little bit disappointing as a rookie, and he did deal with those injuries and stuff too.
Yeah, I got to give
I
him some slack on the injury.
I think I don't know. I feel okay with Hampton. I feel like Vidal is more just useful if like Hampton went down. But I mean, I think a contingent guy here makes sense. If Hampton goes down, Vidal's the main rusher again, and that team's way better than last year. I mean, Vidal was already good when he filled in last year, so I'm fine with that bet. I'm a little bit more of a Keaton Missile guy. As
Oh yeah,
far as like
I
I
love
think
him.
he'll change the pace, but I know a lot of people aren't big fans of Keaton Missile. Um,
I
I
think
think
this is probably
Vidal's
the right order. Yeah, I mean, I might put Connor above Vidal, but it's close. It's one of those. But if Black's here, I think we probably just take Black.
all right. So I guess that's when I haven't followed as much because early on, wasn't it like it sounded like it was more Jordan James, and then now it sounds like it's more Kalen Black. I guess Jordan James
It's
like hurt his ribs, right? Because he got punched in the ribs by
Yeah, he
Baltimore.
fractured a rib or something like that, or I can't remember what it was, but he did have an injury. So
All right, Kalen. We'll take Kalen Black.
yeah, I think it's Black.
That sounds good.
Black or Connor. Those guys are both good. But yeah, let's go Black.
Yeah, yeah.
Sweet.
I think that feels pretty good. Whoa, who's the this guy picked a guy I've never heard of before. That's impressive. Let's see who this is. Colby Young. Are you aware? What are your thoughts on Colby Young?
I can't give you a thought on Kobe Young. So I don't even know who Kobe Young is, but that's
I
interesting.
also don't know who Colby Young is. Shout out super nice bros for making us think. Um I've never heard
Yeah.
of him. That's crazy. But all right. Let's I'll read off the team quick and then I'll kind of get your thoughts on it. So we got a 3582. This is Best Ball Mania 3582. Jaden Daniels, CJ Stroud, Aaron Rodgers, Bijan Robinson, Jeremiah Love, Tony Pollard, Woody Marks, Kalen Black, Nico Collins, Terry McLaurin, Chris Godwin, Michael Pittman, Jaden Higgins, Jalen McMillan, Rashad Bateman, Keenan Allen, Colson Loveland, Dalton Kincaid. What do you think about the team?
Yeah, I like it. I think that obviously the quarterback room is strong. We have the top level talent in Jaden Daniels. I think Stroud makes a lot of sense on this build because we ended up being a triple, but even if it would have just been the double with the wide receivers, that makes a lot of sense because in this type of tournament, you obviously want to stack to kind of maximize those weeks and try to get the most when a player does go off. And then Rogers, he's just kind of he's more of like an insurance policy, but we do get the, the stack there with Pittman. So I think that's a nice click. And then week 15, we have some correlation with Bateman. Week 15 is the hardest week to get out of because that's the 1 out of 14 week. If you make it out of your pod and you get repotted and then you're in that 14 team pod, you got to finish first, right? And so I don't want to like chase correlation around, but we get some sort of here with Bateman and Pittsburgh, so you never know if that could come into play. The tight ends are super solid, right? With Colston and Kincaid, and Caton's obviously a guy that can hit the flex. So yeah, I mean, I think it's a good team. The projections are whatever. I don't really even look at those 27 out, 2,700 points or whatever, but I hardly honestly look at those. So I think there's a top player in every room, right? You have Jaden, you have Bijan, you have Nico, and you have Colston Loveland. So you basically have an elite in every single position group. And then I think we did a pretty solid job of layering on depth and other talent. So I like it. I don't know, how are you feeling about it?
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think it's really nice when you get the double elite onesies, kind of like you said, like we have an elite in both the onesie spots, and none of our other rooms really feel weak for it. Because I think a lot of times that can kind of be the downside, right? Where a room kind of gets neglected or something, you just feel weaker in that sense. But I think with this, yeah, we got those really strong top end quarterback and tight ends, and still built out really solid receiver and running back rooms. I mean, this team just feels really well balanced, just really solid all around, no real weaknesses. I think, yeah, it feels really good and tons of correlation, like we got
we got the stack with Daniels and McLaurin. We have a game stack with Tennessee and Pittsburgh, right? So we got Rogers stacked up with Pittman, and then we got the Pollard bring back. So you never know if that could, come into play week 17. But we didn't go like crazy with it, right? We didn't like chase the bringbacks around or do like reach into tiers in order to make these things happen. We kind of took the value on the board. The Jalen McMillan pick at 167 is pretty fire too. Like I think he's one of those guys where when he gets a little nicked up because of, his head injury last year and some of the injuries he's had in the past, people just like dump him, and then you end up you can scoop him here in a tournament like BBM at 167. What if it's just a little soreness in his knee? It's not the Pearsall injury. We're scooping 17, 18 picks of value on him. I mean, that's pretty fire.
Yeah. I agree. That feels that all feels really
We didn't
good.
get our rookie, wide receiver, which you hear people, every winning best ball mania team has had a rookie wide receiver. We didn't check that box, but outside of that box, I think we did a pretty damn good job.
Yeah. And we got the rookie Kalen Black, so it's close enough. We got at least a rookie running back, so we got our rookie at least. But yeah, no, I think overall that feels pretty good. Yeah, definitely pretty happy with that team actually. Like solid. Feels definitely really solid.
We'll let the audience roast us. They can tell us if they like the team or not. Let us know in the chat.
All right, yeah. Let us know what you guys think of the team. We got a couple comments in the chat. So we're gonna switch over here. We'll catch up with the chat real quick, and then maybe we'll hop into another one. What's up, Vegeta Super Saiyan? Thanks, stop by, bro. What up in the 3-Flex Super Keeper League? I can keep Judkins as my 9th, Warren as my 8th, or Puka as my 1st. Who should I keep? I'm taking over a team. They love RBs. I think Judkins. Yeah, I think Judkins in the 9th is reasonable. Warren in the 8th. Tight ends are less valuable. You should probably go Judkins in the 9th. Yeah. What do you think, Matt? Judkins in the 9th or Warren in the 8th? Or Puka in the 1st, but I'm not taking Puka.
So how's it work? So he gets to keep one of these 3?
But he has to give up the relative pick where he took him last year. So like if he keeps Puka, he has to give up his 1st round. So like I don't really think there's a point. But if he keeps Judkins or Warren, it's either a 9th rounder for Warren or an 8th rounder for Judkins. Or no, sorry, a 9th for Judkins or an 8th for Warren. Sorry.
Damn, yeah, that's close. I think. Ooh. Yeah, I don't know. Warren's tough. because he is the only thing I gives me pause on Judkins, and I love Judkins as a talent, is the team environment. I'm just, I'm a little worried about like his touchdown equity, but in the 9th round, what you're going to get relative to that feels pretty good. So yeah, I'd probably lean Judkins, but it's close between those two. I think you're right about Puka. I wouldn't keep Puka because there's plenty of top talent there. He could get St. Brown or something. Who knows what other guys are going to give up. So I think I would probably lean to one of those top 2 guys.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. I think slightly into Judkins, because I almost think of it a little bit like Dynasty too, where it's like, well, maybe they're bad this year, but it's like if you can keep Judkins at a low price for multiple years, that's probably going to give you more value in the long run than a tight end. But it's
He's so
close. They're
good.
both good
He's
prices.
so good.
Colby Young is an insanely talented 6th round rookie who went late due to character issues. Probably a better stash in Dynasty than the rookie or best ball pick. Okay, that's good to know. So he's Jermaine Burton 2.0, basically.
I was just going to say that you took the words right out of my mouth.
Yeah. I mean, later guy, character issues, is actually good at football, but can he get his head right? Jermaine Burton. Michael Pittman averaged up target last year, 7.8. Rodgers last year, 7.9, 8.1. Sounds like a match made in heaven for PPR. I agree, yeah. And I think Pittman's the odds-on favorite to lead that team in targets, receptions, all that. DK could lead in yardage, probably will lead in touchdowns, but Pittman, I think targets and receptions is probably the favorite to lead the team. Do you agree, or you think it's Metcalf?
Oh no, I think it's Pittman for sure. Just with the type of routes that he runs, I think.
Oh shit! Did
You're
I
gonna get
freeze
a
or?
bunch of. It might have been mine. Sometimes my internet's a little funky here. Yeah, I would say Pittman's going to lead in targets. So, good match for PPR. But I mean, half point PPR, I still think he has value here on like underdog. It's going to kind of come down to, can he get a few more touchdowns? It's always about touchdowns, right? Like when you get these guys, you got to hit on touchdowns if your team's gonna continue to progress through these hard cut downs. But yeah, I feel good about Pittman this year. I think it is going to be a good match.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think a big part of my I like Pittman a lot too. And I think a big part of it's just also betting on the Steelers to kind of be an undervalued offense as a whole and just kind of improve. I think I'm willing to kind of bet on that as just kind of a like on the team as a whole. So then Pittman feels good as kind of the cheapest like main receiver. Or the cheapest, he's like the 4th Steeler off the board. He's one of the cheaper Steelers.
Right. And I was listening to Ship Chasing, the guys, Pat Kerrane and Jacob Sanderson, Davis Maddock, and those guys. They put out a pod recently and they were talking about, some of their guys that they're fading and maybe caving to. And Pat Kerrane made, he made an argument against Pittman. He was basically saying the Colts didn't want him. They traded him. They didn't want to sign him. They wanted Alec Pierce. The back injury might be worse than we think. And, he was kind of going into, I think he was speculating a little bit more than he, it felt like there was a decent amount of speculation there, but his argument was like, if the team really wanted him and thought he was good, they would have kept him. Why did they let him go? They want to ramp up Downs' routes. They want to ramp up Alec Pierce's routes. But, a lot of times it's financial too, right? And I don't know that he really hit on like the financial side of it, and age and kind of how rosters turn over in the NFL. So I didn't find it to be like an overly compelling argument. And so I'm still going to be clicking Pittman in BBM and these other, these other tournaments. So I just put that out there because if you listen to that pod, you're going to hear Pat Kerrane sort of make an argument against Pittman. And I think he's pretty low on him in best ball this year and in BBM, but I didn't find it like an overly compelling case to sort of get off of him. So I'm still clicking him.
Yeah, well, I watched that stream as well, the Ship Chasing, and like, I like a lot of what Pat Kerrane says, even if I don't agree. I think, obviously ultra sharp guy and all that, right?
For
but
sure.
Like, I do think I agree where that take was a little bit more speculative and maybe a little biased, because a big part of his thing with the money was, well, they could have afforded him this year because they have 30 million in cap still available. But Pittman also really wanted a new contract and was going to like hold out if he didn't get one. The Steelers gave him one. They extended him for 2 more years. So it's like, like, yeah, the Colts would have had the money to pay him this year, but if he didn't want to play for that and he was really pushing for a new contract and the Steelers were going to give it to him, it's like, it's not just a 1 year thing. It's a multi-year issue. He's not just signed for just this 1 year. Because that was the big thing he was making about the money is like, well, they could have paid him for this year easily, but it's like, well, they would have had to pay him for the future too, maybe. So
Yeah, and
yeah,
I mean, I'd have to go into like Sleeper or one of the apps and like pull up his, his production. But he had a good number, a good number of spike weeks last year. And even if they weren't like the mega spike weeks, like the 30 plus type of games, he's never gonna, I think, get you that. But he does provide like a high floor, and that's
yeah,
valuable in best ball just to advance. So anyhow,
y- yeah. Him, Wandale, Dobbs, those kind of guys, they can be extremely valuable on builds.
for sure.
Um, all right. Let's catch just a few more of these, and then we can get into it. Where does he pick? Character issue the Bengals. That's a first. Good point, Jeff. Gold badge just hit Keenan at 121. He signed. Damn, I don't think he signed yet, but maybe. I mean, Josh Downs' groin injury. I think the writing's on the wall. But I mean, I think the writing's been on the wall for a minute. Hartman, you were a best ball drafting specimen. Hey, appreciate pre-bunk balance for him. Appreciate it. Thanks, stop by, bro. You were Pittman going. He makes a great bench spot for a backup. Aaron doesn't throw it far. I think they grabbed him for a reason to make Rodgers happy. Yeah, no, I think it's a good fit stylistically. We were kind of talking about that. I think it is a good fit though. I think your point makes sense with kind of his A dot range, all that. That all makes sense. I think he's going to be a good fit with Rodgers. PPR scam for sure. I think Rodgers is going to let it rip this season. He knows this is it. Last season he was scared to get hit. I don't think he played scared this season. I I think I think he's still gonna I think he's still not gonna want to take a ton of contact, but I think we could see them maybe lean into a little bit more of a pass heavy script, especially with Tomlin and Arthur Smith being gone and Mike McCarthy taking over, kind of that more West Coast offense. I think that's a real possibility. That they are just more pass heavy in general and they really let him get the attempts up. Like you look at like Tom Brady's final year, he threw the ball like almost 700 times or something. I don't think Rodgers will get anywhere near that, but we might see a little increase in pass volume. He might want to show he still got it. One last
Yeah,
rodeo.
this is it. He said so himself. So I mean, lay it all out. I mean, the one thing we know about him as a pick is he's not going to be benched, assuming he doesn't get injured. You're going to have a quarterback for week 17. Whatever those points are going to be. Maybe they're not going to be enough to make a difference on a build if you make it that far. But what we don't want to take or what we're trying to avoid, I think, is zeros on our builds. And so just to have everybody be live in your quarterback room week 17, you're going to get that with Rodgers, where say like you get Brissett or Geno, right? Those guys, they either carry some bench risk or they might want to bring in, see how the backups are doing or whatever. So I think that's the one thing I like about Rodgers this year is zero bench risk.
Yeah, absolutely. And that late, you can't guarantee it with a lot of those other guys.
Yeah, right in that range. So
Rodgers come for that last MVP like he's come for Fauci. Hell yeah, pre-bunked. Hell yeah.
yes,
That
he
was a
is.
that was a great interview he had on the McAfee show. You could tell they were getting nervous, especially when he brought up the
Oh yeah.
Rossini stuff. They were getting a little nervous.
We're gonna have to cut
But,
this. Is the FCC gonna step in and pull the cord?
yeah, yeah. I mean, hey, they don't like talking about that stuff on the air.
No,
The
they don't.
Rossini stuff, especially. I think they were fine with the Fauci stuff, but the Rossini stuff when you're on ESPN, they don't like that.
Yeah.
They don't mess with that. But all right. I think we got all caught up. So I think we can hop in
All right,
if
let's
you're
do
ready.
it. So this one we're gonna do a pit bull. I guess real quick for those in the audience that may not know this tournament, I'll just give a quick rundown here. So this is a 10 entry max, $20 entry. And there's going to be 28,080 entrants in this tournament. So this is a small field tournament, relatively speaking, to BBM and Puppy 3 and all those fun stuff. That fun stuff. In terms of the advancement structure here, 2 out of 12. So still like BBM, you got to finish top 2 in your initial pod, but then this is where it gets easier. We go one out of 6 and 1 out of 5. And then we have this relatively small final here with a 156 seat final. 100,000 to first, 50,000 to second, 25,000 to third. So pretty good prize money here for this tournament. I don't know how you feel about it. This is probably one of my favorite tournaments on Underdog.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's like a pretty good top prize. Then I like the advancement structure, 1 out of 6, 1 out of 5, reasonable size final. And like, yeah, that kind of mid-entry price point. I like these tournaments a lot. The Chow Chows, the Huskies. I think they're all kind of similar structured, just different price points. Like
Yeah.
all these feel really
This is the
good.
one
Yeah.
that hits six figures though, so I think it's just I give it the edge over those other ones, but it is close. I think what Chow Chow's like 50K, so it's still pretty good money.
Oh, is the Chow Chow only 50? I guess
Is it? Maybe I
yeah,
missed
it
it.
is 50. It is 50. You're right. Oh, I guess Chow Chow's a lot smaller. But Chow Chow's 2 out of 8, 2 out of 8 with a 58% final.
Okay,
I guess the structure is a little different.
a little different.
But I
All
do
right, I
like the
guess
Pit Bull's a great tournament though. I like this structure a lot.
yeah. I'll do a countdown in case anybody in the audience wants to draft with us. So I'll do the 10-second countdown, and we'll do it now. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're in. Oh, we're waiting for 10. So anyone wants to draft with us,
All right, there we
they
go.
should be able to make it in.
Yeah. Hey, friends and family draft. I always love seeing the friends and family drafts.
Yeah. I don't want to do them too much because these guys are sharp, and then you lose EV. So I don't want too many in my portfolio, but it is fun to mix it in.
Yeah, it's fun over here and there. Oh, we got Goofy Chicken Fantasy in the chat. What's up? What up, drafters? Hey, Hartman. Hey, what's up, Goofy Chicken? Cash, cash, cash. Yeah, we got Goofy Chicken here. Shout out Goofy Chicken, one of the best streamers out here. One
Oh
of
yeah.
most entertaining guys. He's doing a little bit of the pop-ups and stuff. He was doing a lunchtime stream the other day. I caught that.
Nice.
Don't take running back early. You won't have depth later. That's true. Yeah, you can't get left behind too bad, especially with them going so high now. It's definitely harder if you take like nothing early. Router's a bad friend for doing that to Pat. Hey, you got him a lot of engagement though, so it goes both ways. No publicity is bad publicity, as they say. Kevin's in with us. Oh yeah. Uh, Good luck, y'all. Good luck to you too, Kevin. On call fire. Yo, hey, what's up, Kale Elliott? Thanks for stopping by, bro. Mike McCulloch, I'm jumping in this one. Good luck, fellas. Hey, good luck, Mike. Thanks for stopping by. It should be fun. Looks like we got a couple people coming out of the woodwork. They were just waiting for us to hop in another draft. They can take our EV from us. So
Yeah.
always good to see. So we'll have a couple of them. But yeah, I don't know. So
what's your plans with BBM? Are you planning on how far are you going to go with your portfolio? What's your what count do you want to get up to?
75 to 100. I
Nice.
don't have an exact like set amount, but probably 75 to 100. Are you maxing it? Is that your plan?
I'm not sure. I mean, I'm getting closer. It just kind of depends. I mean, I'll do some collabs here through the month of August. I kind of were saving them for, doing collab streams like yourself. I'm going to be on with Puhames next Wednesday. So I'm guessing we'll do some BBMs on there. I was planning on doing a couple with Zero, and then I'm going to do some with like my brother-in-laws. I have 3 brother-in-laws, and they play fantasy with I'm in a redraft league with them, but I've been getting them into best ball, and so we're gonna do a couple slows. So I think with each of my brother-in-laws, I'm gonna do either 1 or 2. So that'll take up like another, we'll say like 6. So it'll be close. I don't know if I'll totally max, but I'll definitely be close if I don't. And maybe if I get that close, it's just gonna be like, man, just finish it out just to say you did it,
Yeah.
But the way it's trending, I probably will end up maxing BBM.
Well, yeah, and you only get they always send out a reward of some kind if you max it. If like last year I got a hat for it, so it's definitely worth it to push up to the
Yeah, you got to get that hat, right?
yeah. No, but when you're close, it does kind of feel like that. You're like, well, I really would just like to push it up to just max it, right? You're like, I'm at like 142. Might as well do the other 8 or whatever.
Yeah, and this year I kind of avoided some of the the smaller, not this, I don't want to call them smaller tournaments. I guess they are, but like last year I was doing all the the Pomeranians and the what do you call it? Like the schnauzers, the mini schnauzers, the Frenchie. I went kind of crazy with it last year on like some of the smaller tournaments, and this year I've been more selective. been kind of sticking with more of the larger field tournaments. I've done the puppies, the fast puppy. I'm not maxing them, but I've kind of taken an approach where I'm gonna do like 50 to 75 in each of those larger tournaments. And then the pit bull in particular, because I like that one and it's 6 figures. But I think I've just been, I've been a little bit more selective with my tournaments this year, and then in turn I've spent some of that money on in BBM. So same, probably about the same amount of money I'll spend, but just more selective with the tournaments. And I don't know, we'll see how it works out. We'll measure. We're all going to be measured by our results at the end of the day. And then I'll make some adjustments going into next year. But part of it's like I kind of look at it too like a marketing budget, since we're streaming and stuff like that. Just to build an audience, and yes, it is my own money. Like nobody's giving me site credits or anything like that. But I think part of it is like I treat it like a marketing budget in a sense. Because I'm building an app, I'm building a following on streaming and stuff like that too. So maybe it's just how I trick myself into thinking I can keep spending money. I just tell myself marketing budget, but that's where I'm at.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's like I don't know. I guess to me, it's just like I draft a lot. Like, just I enjoy the drafts. So like,
Me
I
too.
probably could be a little bit better with being like selective about what I enter. I am a little bit like I don't know if I see a tournament with a structure I don't like, I just won't enter it. I'm not like super like going heavy into every tournament I see, but it is kind of a balance in a way, right? And I will say though, I don't know how much I think winning can help you grow a lot really quick, but I don't think winning actually matters that much as far as being a content creator. I think it's
No,
more
that's
like,
true.
I mean, you can gain a pretty big following without ever winning. But and then like some people, but like then you got like Liam, right? Who doesn't stream quite as much and wait a long time, but he's a big winner. So it's like I think a lot of people watch his platform and go over there and found him because of that, right? So it's like he
For
didn't
sure.
have to do as much grinding and crazy effort to get there. And it's like, but he's a winner. So it just blows him up. Where like, but if you do grind and you actually have like decent takes and decent thoughts, I think most people will like, you just gain an audience that way, whether you win or not. Cause there's so much luck involved at the end of the day.
Yeah, there is a lot of luck involved, no doubt. I've kind of, you always go back between like how much of this is skill and how much of this is luck. It's absolutely a skill-based game. Like it's unquestionably a skill-based game. And the results, you see that, like look at Justin Herzig, right? Like he won BBM one, but then he made it to 5 subsequent BBM finals. Like you cannot do that. Like that's almost statistically impossible unless you're very good at, you know, projections, player takes, looking at situations and understanding kind of how, you're forecasting how the season is going to play out. So, it's absolutely a skill-based game with a lot of luck involved. And so the way I look at it, how do you win a tournament like this is you have to stack as many good builds as you possibly can so that when variance sort of takes hold, you're in the finals, you have more bullets. You've either got more teams into the finals, or the team that you got to the finals is just it's like it's just a little bit above like your typical team. So I don't know, I go back and forth, and that's why I don't want to spend too much money doing it. But I also understand that it's like poker in a way, right? Like because at the poker table, there's obviously skill involved in how you play your board, your position at the table, and you don't know what cards are going to come on the flop or the turn or the river, right? But you can't argue that poker is not a skill based game, right? But there's also a ton of variance in something like that. So it's probability and statistics, man. At the end of the day, it is a math game.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, I mean, I pretty much agree with you there. But yeah, and then I guess the thing in football, like this, like Kevin's saying, first time doing fantasy online, I'm hooked. Hell yeah, but a lot of luck involved. It depends on health also. Like I think that's the biggest one in football where you get the variance, right? Is you just never know when injuries and stuff are gonna occur, and that's where that variance can really just shake up that season or those like preconceived notions or projections. But yeah, at the end of the day, like if you like you said with Herzig, like that's someone who takes all the data, really gets like I think he's a guy too where it's like later in the summer, it seems like he gets more and more of an edge and he really kind of like holds off till later in the year to do a lot of his drafting. Um,
Mhm.
and yeah, you just see him like be able to apply that information better than most drafters year over year, right? You just like, regardless of the variance and the health difference and stuff like that, he's just better at applying that info than the vast majority of drafters.
Right.
Um,
I mean, he auto drafters main last year and he finished second. I was like,
yeah,
God damn you,
I
dude.
saw
Like,
that.
how the hell did you do that?
Yeah,
Just like so jealous. But
yeah.
no, he's one of the best for sure. We get the 4 hole here, so this will be fun.
We got we got some friends and family in here. We got Paul said he's in, hopped in. Good. Thanks, stop by, bro. Uh, who do we got? We got Buddy Man at the 6. That's Mike. We got Tika at the 8. That's Best Ball on call. Legion at the 9. That's Paul. Mr. Mufasa at the 11. Hale Elliott at the 12. We got about half the lobby. We got about half the lobby, friends and family. Love to see it. Oh, and Kevin at pick 7.
Okay.
Nice.
This is
Nice.
gonna be a tough draft.
Yeah.
Our
Yeah,
guys,
no,
we got our
we
work cut
got
out, man.
yeah. Yeah, this would be a little tough. At least for us, we got a little bit like I don't know. I don't recognize any of the guys at the front of the draft. So looks like, they all got grouped together. So that kind of worked out for us, maybe. We got 4 of them in a row, 6 to 9. They're all in the chat. So they're
Yep.
gonna be sniping each other.
Yeah, well, they're gonna
Yeah,
get us on the way back in those
yeah.
even rounds.
Yeah, hopefully they'll focus more on each other and we can kind of sneak out a good team.
Yeah, you Puka here pretty easily.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
Puka. Top 4, I don't mess with the top 4 ever. Get me to
Yep.
pick 5. Sometimes I get a little wild, but top 4, I don't mess with it.
Same. You think that there's any chance that JSN can finish #1 overall wide receiver, or is that just totally out of his range of outcomes?
I mean, it's definitely possible. I'm a little bit lower on the whole Seahawks offense, and I do think his target share will go down with Shaheed being there in a full offseason. Also, with
Makes
Corey
sense.
Horton being healthy, I think that could be a small factor. Not putting too much weight in the Horton thing, more in Shaheed being there for the full offseason, though. And I just overall think they'll lose efficiency with Kubiak gone. The running game's going to be a lot more questionable. They were doing a lot off play action and motion to get it to JSN and like kind of better leverage situations. I think the pass volume will probably raise, which will help,
Mhm.
but I just think his target share is so unsustainably high last year. I have a hard time seeing him being number 1 unless he hits better variance on like touchdowns. I guess it's just to me like I'm betting kind of against the offense as a whole. And
Yeah.
I think that the main way he finishes as 1, he probably needs like 12-ish touchdowns or so. So I just have a little bit harder time seeing that.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's
how about
fair.
how about you? How are you feeling about their offense and him? Or do you think he could be one?
Obviously, yeah, with losing Clint Kubiak stinks. I did just see we'll make these 2 picks here. I did see a recent interview by the coach and kind of talking about their new OC, and they brought him in from the outside. They didn't promote from within when Clint left for Vegas, and they were kind of talking about his background and kind of all the different things he'd done. Real quick, we'll make this pick. Do you like keep it on ADP here? Do you like Brown, Bowers?
Uh,
London
I would
goes.
probably Bowers. Bowers Brown is fine. Either one's fine. I was thinking maybe Bowers since it's Brown has the same bye week, but
Yeah, let's go Bowers. I always like taking a Bowers team. I don't think I have one in the pit bull, so you got to have at least one Bowers team. It's like a rule if you can
yeah.
get it.
Yeah,
Just because he's so damn good, man.
yeah, and I've been a little bit underweight on Bowers the whole way. It's just it feels a little uncomfortable because I do agree he's the best tight end in the NFL. He's like yeah, I mean Brock Bowers is just different than all the other tight ends. I don't even think like I think he's like a full tier of his own. I don't even think like Trey McBride. But that's me personally, but like I just the elite tight ends are, I'm kind of opposed to elite tight end, I think is the problem. But Bowers is good enough that he's definitely worth mixing in.
Yeah, oh, definitely. Every now and then, I'm with you. I don't like to do it too often, just because it makes build look. Yeah, you never feel comfortable when you go early tight end. Now here, do you like Smith or you want to pull up like Zay or Olave? I'm cool. Or you want to grab a running back? You want to grab Brees?
I would be Smith or Zay. Either one is fine.
Let's go Zay.
All right.
Zay's fun. I think we're not pairing him up with Chase, unfortunately, although I totally respect that pull up. But yeah, let's go Zay. I think he's set to smash this year.
Yeah, I think so too. I think everything's kind of fallen into place for him. You know, they just keep talking him up. The head coach, the OC, people are pretty hyped for Declan Doyle, and actually moving Zay around the formation better, getting him maybe some more layup targets. It's just the touchdowns. The dude gets 10 touchdowns. I mean, he's a first round pick. He gets another 5 touchdown year. He's probably still pays off this price. I mean, he did.
Yeah, and that's something that isn't a sticky statistic unless you're like Mike Evans. The touchdowns, they come and go, right? So I look more at the underlying metrics and the efficiency metrics and targets per route run, yards per route run, those kind of things to see how these guys are. And obviously you want the touchdowns, double-digit touchdowns, but I think that's something that can, I don't want to say easily be corrected, but he has the profile, to be able to get those touchdown numbers up. So I like him this year. And he got the bag. So, the Ravens like him. I'm not sure how I feel about the Ravens front office, to be totally honest with you. There's times where I think that they're like a pretty well-run front office. And then there's other times where I'm like the Andrews signing, that one was a little interesting. I think they gave him quite a bit of money for where he's at in his career. So I go back and forth on that front office, but in general, I think they're a pretty well-run organization for sure.
Yeah, I think in general we've just seen that like over time. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, every team makes some mistakes here and there, but I think overall we've seen them be just always competitive, pretty well-run organization. Maybe a little bit shady at times with old Max Crosby and Trey Hendrickson.
Man, that was messed up.
Yeah,
that was cool. After this pick, though, I'll finish what I was saying about the. Or I guess I can say now. Yeah, so I was listening to this interview though about the OC from the coach, and he was talking about how they brought in this outside talent for OC, and his dynamic background and all the different things he had done, and they were kind of praising him. But then there were times they were talking about training camp and some of the things that were going on in training camp, and it sounded like there were definitely some like growing pains and some issues that the coach had was doing with him. So I don't know. I am kind of on the fence. I think at first I was like, oh, this is going to be bad. But I do really like their head coach. I think he's a super, super sharp dude, probably one of the sharpest head coaches in the league. And so if he approves of this OC, I'm kind of approving of it because I go back to the head coach. I just think he's so sharp. We have Terry here. We have Mike Evans. We have Monty.
I would be Mike Evans.
Mike Evans, let's do it.
Or Monty. Monty's also fine. We don't have a running back. Either one is fine.
Maybe we grab Monty, I think, maybe.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's fine.
Is that egregious at 45? No, I think that's fair, right?
Yeah, I think it's fine. It's just like we're probably gonna like the 5th as well. So like sometimes that's I'm okay going like 3 receivers and then getting only 1 running back in this range, but we might get a guy back, or if not, we can get like Swift or something like that. So yeah, I don't know. I mean,
Evans has fallen like to the 5th too. Like there is a chance we get him back.
Yeah. Wow,
all of our buddies in the room are to our right. So if they were to our left, I'd say we're not getting them. But
okay, we'll just take one of the top. Either one's fine. Terry, Mike Evans. I mean, preferably Mike Evans to me, but either one's fine.
All right, works out for us. We get him back.
Yeah, hell yeah. That worked great. I don't know why he would be falling. Everyone else is hurt. Oh, he got hurt too, huh? He got hurt
too. Yeah, something. Yeah. What was it? Quad or something? I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, I think it might have been a hamstring or quad. Yeah, but yeah. So okay, I guess that's why he's falling. I don't know. Everyone on the Niners is hurt. As long as he's gonna be good week 1, we're good.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know if JSN has it in his range of outcomes to finish number 1 overall, but I was originally like, absolutely not. This can't happen. Clint's out. But I've slowly, I think, I've grown a little bit more confidence in that coaching staff, and I think it's possible. I think it's possible. Unlikely, but
Well,
possible.
I think a big part too is how much faith do you have in Jadarian Price? Because, like, I think they did so much off the run last year, and that was how so much of their offense was based on that strong running game and play action. It's like, can Jadarian Price, do that on his own, basically? They're not gonna have Charbonnet at least probably half the year, and then
He's
obviously
been
Walker.
looking good in camp too. I don't know if you've heard the camp reports on Price, but everything I've heard is he looks good. And then I think they did, was it a scrimmage or something they did? And they used him for like the first, I don't know, it was like 10 or 8, 10 snaps or something like that. So like the idea that like Kalani's going to mix in and, I don't know. I think that's starting to fade a little bit. And the buzz around Price has been growing from what I've seen. So I don't know. I do like the Price click. I'm completely content with him in the sixth.
Yeah. See, I'm still gonna be lower on because it's not even really the Halani. I'm worried about Charbonnet and the money weeks. Because like Halani
That's
early
true.
out, George Halani, like who's that guy? What's he gonna do? But like, but I'm just worried more about Charbonnet late in the year, and then kind of like I said, just being a little bit more down on the offense. But I don't know. Maybe I am a little bit too low on them overall. That could be fair.
What do you like here? You want to grab?
I mean, Marv's cool. Pollard would also be fine. Or a quarterback if you like a naked quarterback enough.
I think we probably just grab Marv and then try to grab running. I mean, the running backs would be like I'd be fine with any of these three. Um,
I'd be fine with Pollard or Ramondre, not Chuba. You got
yeah,
Chuba
Chuba's
ranked
not
way
in
high.
this,
You
not
love
at
Chuba,
76.
huh?
I need to adjust my ranks. Actually, he should be down further. Sorry, that was a rank issue. I haven't got these updated. Yeah, Ramondre would be cool here.
I'm a big time Chuba hater, so if I just had to give you a little bit of a hard time for it.
No, it's all
Uh,
good. I can understand, the concerns with him. Jonathan Brooks here at 73. The hype is real.
I was a huge Jonathan Brooks guy early. I don't think I can get there. I'm gonna actually start picking Chuba if he's in the eighth. I'm gonna be picking more Chuba. I had like 1 or 2%, but yeah, Jonathan Brooks in the seventh, Chuba in the eighth. I might lean a little bit more towards Chuba.
I mean, Hurts at 75 is tough to pass, but we are getting behind at running back. I don't know. What do you like?
I'd be Andre. I mean, like
Ramondre?
Hurts, yeah, Hurts is fine, but there's like I don't know. There's so many good quarterback values. Like, why would we take Hurts at 76 when we could just take Jackson Dart at like 104 or whatever? I mean,
Yeah, that's
what's the
fine. And I mean, it's not like we passed on Smith, so it's not like we have a stacking option. I guess we have San Francisco for week 17, but that's not a good enough reason. And this is a team where, we have Purdy, we have Stafford, we could get the naked Jackson Dart, like you're saying. So there's lots of other options here with the way that this build is constructed to just pass on elites, elite QB here.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think the Hertz pick is definitely like that was definitely a good value if we would have wanted to get him there. But I just think with only one running back and with it not being super high end talent, like having Monty RB1, I think it just feels better kind of locking up that second running
Oh
back.
yeah, I think we
And,
needed it just the way this build came together.
yeah. And like you said, we might be looking at Purdy. And I think the Purdy spot is also a spot where maybe a lot of times you're looking at a running back or something. So it kind of maybe like works out better to grab the running back there. And then that way we don't feel like, oh, we can't grab Purdy because we're going to have no running back coming back or something like that.
Right. Yeah, that's smart. That's sharp. I like that.
That
What do you think about Stafford this year? I mean, I haven't taken a ton of him, but I'm going to bring it up here because we have Puka. How do you feel about Stafford?
I think he's a totally fine pick. I think pocket passers in general, and him being older, like it's obviously a little fragile, like always, just with the age and just the pocket passer in general. But I think I feel totally fine with his price. We're getting enough of a discount with him coming off the 40 touchdown year. Like no one's really pricing him like he's going to do it again or anything. So I think if you have a Rams piece, he feels totally reasonable. Not my
Yeah.
favorite QB in the world, but I think his price is reasonable and the upside's there on the Rams. They might just be too good where he doesn't have to throw enough. That's honestly the biggest concern to me.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Do you want to would we be looking at pulling Purdy up to 93, or do you want to try to push him and
No.
grab like a Harvey or a Dobbins or a Manungai and keep adding to this running back room, or where are you at
We
on this build?
I think we should wait on Purdy. We don't need to pull him up here. Because there's no Ricky anymore. No one can no one can do the stack on the turn anymore.
What do you like?
Oh wow, they took the running backs.
Yeah, they
I'd
cleared
be
us
fine
out.
with Monangai or one of those receivers or T-Law. If you want to just take T-Law, that's fine too. We can take like Jacoby Myers. I don't.
Okay. Either
Up to
way.
you. Either way, go. Your call.
I
Monangai.
didn't. I
Yeah,
tried
there we
it.
go.
We didn't get it in. That's okay. But yeah, that's a
I
good
per-
price on T-Law. It's hard to argue with that.
yeah, I
And we could
preferred the
get.
T-Law pick. I didn't want to push it because it seemed like you were maybe not quite as in.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about it was more like structurally would we have benefited from Manungai, but I don't necessarily like the talent here. I think he could definitely be a guy that's a little bit cheaper. I could easily see him going back in this range. So he does feel still like a little pricey, but here would we double up with Purdy and stack him, or do we get my gosh, you got Chris Godwin now in the 100s? Is that like a thing? Oh, he doesn't make it
Yeah,
there.
he's been
Okay.
falling a little bit.
You
Can you tab to running back quick? You can queue Purdy, but let I think I think Purdy maybe is my lean. What do you think? Which one are you leaning?
I would say let's go Purdy. We have our two starting
Mm.
running backs. So we get Purdy, we can stop at these two, and then we'll just, it'll be more of a volume game here with the running backs. This probably like a, closer to probably like a 6 RB build, but we're not going to need to take a tight end for a while, right? I mean, we could literally wait as long as we wanted in theory. Now, if there's a good value on the board, I'm not opposed to grabbing a tight end at any of these upcoming picks. But when you have Brock Bowers, it's one of those things where you can just put it out of your mind if you need to build out other position groups. And like on a build like this, I think we might have to push tight end and continue to build out the RBs. Just a thought, But that's kind of the luxury you do get with somebody like a Purdy is like, okay, I'll come back at the the very end and grab a Schultz or I don't know, AJ Barner or something like that. Like I don't mind an AJ Barner Bowers type of tight end build. I think that's plenty. I'm not
Yeah, I think
saying
that
that's
would
going to be
be.
the case, but that I'm just sort of talking it out.
I think ideally to me, if it fits, if there's a running back we like, we could pass up on this tight end. But like, I think a stacked tight end with our naked quarterback, I think I like him a lot. That's my highest owned tight end is Strange.
Strange.
Strange is
Okay,
my
yeah.
highest
Oh,
owned.
I'd be cool
Well,
with that. Yeah, I mean, I'd be cool with that
and
if.
he's like 150s. Yeah, like 148. Like we could maybe look at him there, but we'll see who's
Yeah,
there.
we'll put it in the back of our minds. Here, I think we'll have to see if wow the Manungai fall is real. Jordan Mason, White. How do you feel about these guys? Any particular? If one makes it back, is there one in particular that you like?
I would have been okay. Well, Monaghan was a great value. I probably lean Mason a little bit with all the good coach speak and all that. I do like the Jacoby Myers price, man. Getting him back would be kind of nice,
Yeah,
but we probably don't need it as much. Okay,
but I
wow.
do
I
feel
mean,
like the stack would be, we'd be looking at Aaron Jones or pulling up like C-Rod.
yeah, that's a little tough. Maybe if Rashad White makes it, maybe we just grab him, and then if not, we go Jacoby. Okay, Jacoby goes. All right. Shout out, buddy, man. He sniped us. He made the decision for us. I'd
All right, let's get
probably be
White,
Rashad. Yeah.
and then
Oh, Kittle's right there too. We could end it with Kittle. Probably don't need to though. Probably should just double dip at running back if we can.
I think so. Now, do you like Jones or you C-Rod? I mean, we do have Jacksonville here and Washington.
Yeah, but in fairness, C-Rod doesn't stack with T-Law because he can't catch.
That is
So,
true. That is
but
true.
it
Just consolidating into the offense. Yeah,
yeah, it's
more
a
of a
correlation.
we call that a correlation. In this case, not a stack.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to catch at least one pass in order for it to count. Now, do you like Jones,
Um,
or would you want to pull up
I,
C-Rod?
I would be Jones in a vacuum, but if you want to lean it to C-Rod, that's fine with me. I think they're close enough. I like Jones a little more, but I think C-Rod with the team stuff is fine.
Yeah, I'd be C-Rod, and I mean he's been rotating, with Tootin. I think like last week, Tootin was getting all the hype. He had some long runs in practice, and he was kind of killing it. But then that was also partially because C-Rod was out with that injury. I don't remember what it was. He's back now at practice, and he's been rotating with Tootin. And I think at the goal line, I think C-Rod makes for a better goal line back, not only because he's bigger, he's got some short area burst, but he doesn't have a fumbling problem. And I don't know that Tootin has I don't know if Tootin's fumbling problem from college is going to continue into the pros, but there was an interview with, what's his name? Lee, what's the coach's name?
Liam Cohen.
Yeah, Liam Cohen, where he was talking about how last year Tootin was sort of playing tight because he was so worried about like ball security, and this year he's been kind of playing more loose. So we'll see. We'll see if it ends up if it's still an issue. But I know in college at Virginia Tech, he did have a bit of a fumbling issue.
Yeah.
So it just, I mean, at the goal line, do you want to give a guy who's has a past history of fumbling the ball in that situation when you have another guy who's bigger, probably a little bit stronger, a little thicker in the thighs? Like, I don't know. It stands to reason that C-Rod could earn the goal line role.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I will say Liam Cohen said that Tootin fixed his fumbling issues last year. Now he just wants him to be himself. But it is true he was fumbling.
That's the one I read, and fixed his issues though. I mean, I guess we'll see when you get on the football field and you're going up against the defense and they're really trying to punch the ball out.
Hey, I mean, hey, Bayshal Tootin was their goal line back last year. He can work on the goal line. Didn't he? He got quite a few rushing touchdowns, no?
I'd have to go back and look. Let's see. We can take a quick look.
Yeah, check how many rushing touchdowns did Tootin get on his 83 carries?
5. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah, he's like a goal line guy. That's the thing when people always talk trash about his explosiveness. It's like, well, bro, they put him in on the 2-yard line so much. He got like hella goal line carries.
Now, what do you like here? We want to grab Hunter for the stack. Like Hunter?
Yeah, I like that. I like Travis Hunter, and for the stack makes total sense.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I probably, I like Hunter's price. I was gonna say I maybe lean Boston over him in a vacuum, but like getting the Jacksonville piece, I think Hunter makes more sense. Boston, they've been saying Boston looks like Randy Moss. I heard so.
Yeah,
might be.
I heard that last night on Nice and Blunt stream. That was funny. He was going at you for a minute.
That was some beat reporter said that. I didn't just like.
I knew what you meant, and it was just funny the way he kind of ran with it. It was good.
Yeah, he's like, no fucking way. It was pretty funny.
Strange. Do you want to do the strange thing here? It's 148. This is where we talked about it.
Yeah, I mean, unless you really want like Algier or Spears.
No.
Okay, then yeah, I like Strange here, and then we can be done at tight end. We got it stacked up. We actually got a lot of Jacksonville pieces now. With the naked T-Law, we got it pretty stacked up.
Yeah, we did. We were able to pull that off, and I think we're in good shape. Obviously, you could argue this is light at the running back position, but really, I mean, you have 2 starters in their respective backfields. White has the outs in the passing game, and then C-Rod, maybe he is goal line, maybe he isn't, whatever. But he does have that connection with Cohen going back to his days at Kentucky. So, he must have some sort of affinity for the player. You wouldn't bring him in and sign him to that type of deal unless you kind of knew his background. So I'm kind of just going with the coach's affinity for that player. And it's a good offense. So, we are buying into Jacksonville, which I think will be a playoff team this year. So feeling pretty good. I mean, probably add 2 more to that room. And then whatever else is left to this wide receiver room. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean this build could even be a 2-7-7-2 if we wanted, a 3-6-7-2. Yeah, I think we have some options. We can go quite a few different
we can be
ways.
flexible.
Yeah. Yeah, I think How are you feeling? How are you feeling about Jonah Coleman? I haven't really been too in on him, but he's turning heads at camp. Everyone loves this guy. What do you think?
I was clicking him a little bit, kind of in this range. I liked him when he was sort of falling. I'd get him in the 170s a few times, and he was never a guy that I was pulling up, and I still wouldn't pull him up, even with some of the coach buzz. But I would be fine clicking him here. Jerry, we were on stream, and he was saying, he's fine as like an 18th round click, and I'm like, okay, well, you're never going to get him if that's the case. But he was, his argument was he's a day 3 prospect. He's in a crowded backfield, but I don't know. I'd be willing to click it. What about you?
I mean, Coleman, Kamara. I think it's one of those two. You could decide.
I
I'm
mean,
fine
I
with.
think I think Kamara is pretty washed personally.
I think so too. That's fine. I think all the people saying like Kamara is gonna bounce back this year and like, oh, he actually still has a role. It's like he was the starter last year against Devin Neal and he didn't do anything. He was terrible.
Yeah.
I don't really get the pro Kamara people. They're like, yeah, he's still gonna have a role. It's like, well, he had
I
the
mean,
main
I'll
role.
click them in like the 180s and stuff if I need like a fifth, and I'm just like, okay, like maybe he has like a spike week. I need a fifth running back here. So I have drafted him a few times in BBM whatever, but not in the 160s. I'm a lot more selective about when I get him, and it's usually on like a Shuck stack. I've got like Chuck and Olave, and I'll tack him on just because he's involved in the passing game. But his rushing efficiency is terrible.
Yeah,
You like Jaden Blue? Do you want
I
a
kind of
wide
do.
receiver here?
I'd be either Jaden Blue or I'd probably be Jaden Blue. Maybe Rogers if you really want a third,
No,
but
I
I
don't
don't
think
think
we
we
need a
need
third on
one.
this one. I think we could stop at 2. Now, if we get something late, I'd be okay with that. But I think Jaden Blue's a better click here. It thins out a lot back here, right? So
Yeah, I think that's a
like,
pretty big drop off after him where like you have a lot harder time telling yourself that those guys could really compete for any kind of role compared to
yeah,
like him. It still feels like a little realistic that he could get on the field as like a pass catcher or something, be kind of like a Tyjae Spears type pick, something like that, where the guys after feel almost pure contingent.
for sure. All right, let me review the team real quick for the audience. So we are through 15 rounds here from the 4-hole. We have T-Law and Brock Purdy at quarterback. I mean, we could add a third, but I think when you go 2 in the top 100, I'm pretty comfortable stopping at 2. And with these profiles, I think good offenses, I think we're okay.
Mm-hmm.
Running backs, Monty, Ramadre, Rashad White, C-Rod, Jonah Coleman, and Jaden Blue. I think we did a pretty good job recovering in that running back room. Wide receivers, Puka, Zay, Mike Evans, Marv, and Travis Hunter. And then tight ends, Brock Bowers and Brenton Strange. I think we probably, I'd say 2772 makes a lot of sense on this build, or 2682.
Yeah, I mean
Or
we
not eight,
could
not 8.
also do 3672 if you want the stack with Bowers.
Oh,
I
yeah,
think that
that's
would be
true.
reasonable, but
That is
like I'm
reasonable.
definitely totally cool stopping with the 2 quarterbacks. Like I agree they're good enough, but I don't know if you think that might be better than what's ever on the board. Kind of up to you.
Well, do you like Judy? I don't like Williams. Do you like Judy or Ridley, or is there a guy like you want to pull up like a Pat Bryant or a Kayshon Boutte or something?
I actually kind of don't mind pulling up the Pat Bryant. I'm pretty down on Judy personally, but it would be
Buddy, man,
okay.
heard us talking. No, just kidding.
Damn, you son of a bitch. It's good. I mean,
I'm
like
Ju-
Judy would be fine. You're Judy.
I'm good with Judy here at this price. Like, I don't know. I think we could benefit from him on this
All
build.
right. All right. Yeah, that's fine. I'm
He's
just
an
not with
annoying
Judy.
player, but I don't know. I try to block that stuff out.
Well, like yeah, I'm kind of a hater, I
I would have
guess.
been Pat Bryant, honestly, if he was there for sure. Like, that was the click, but he went.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I'm just having a hard time getting in on Judy with all those like bad offense. He wasn't very good last year, and then they add in 2 high capital like rookies.
It's
It
true,
just
yeah.
I don't know, it just
I
feels
hear
so
you.
bad. Yeah. But you know, he's almost free, so it's like I'm hating a lot on a guy that goes in the 16th round. So you know, it's
So what do you like here? I mean, we have Keenan. If we wanted to grab another wide receiver, we could grab Mendoza and do that stack like we talked about, and they get that extra insurance.
I kind of like the Mendoza. I like the other out.
Yeah, let's do it.
We even have that game stack. So we have Marv. I mean, so we
Right.
have
That's now we make a full game stack out of it. Yeah, I like that.
yeah. So I kind of like that because we kind of had that like actually really built out and stuff too. So I think that feels good. It was a good price on Mendoza. I don't think we needed the seventh running back really. You know, we're
No,
probably
no, I thought we were good at running back. I agree with you there. It would have been two wide receivers. And the talent, it's like we're just gonna take a stab on a guy here at the back. So about Caleb Douglas. There's been that I know you brought him up. There's been some hype around him. We'll put him in the queue.
I was actually just about to bring him up again. I was gonna say, what are you thinking about Caleb Douglas?
I'm down. Let's get a share.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see if he makes it through the murderers row of all the people watching.
That's true.
But I mean, Caleb Douglas, they've been talking him up though. They said, well, they like the other day moving him all around the formation, great blocker. Like they're hyping that guy up a little bit.
We
Like
could. I mean, Malachi Fields. He's been getting a little bit of hype.
him too, yeah.
So I think
They
he's
were
on the
saying
short list.
sounds like he locked up wide receiver 2, they were saying, right? Or not
Mhm.
locked up, but has the kind of front running path for it.
Yeah, so I'd say we move him up. We have Do you like Ridley, or is he like an absolute no click for you?
Ridley's fine. Yeah, Ridley's fine.
And how about Booty? Thoughts on Booty?
I'm willing to click some. I don't have hardly any, but like I've been clicking some last couple days, last week or whatever, with all
Okay.
the good reports.
Just looking to see if there's anything that would be in a game stack or.
out of everyone you have queued, the only one I don't like is Vele, personally.
Okay.
But I mean, even him, like I'm not gonna if we wanted to pick him, it's not too crazy. But I would probably be like
Douglas?
Fields.
Fields? Yeah, I mean we do get a like cheap little 1v1 out of it. You never know. It could matter week 17.
Who's your lean? I mean, Ridley's the value. I guess we could.
Yeah, I mean Ridley's the value. Maybe we just take him.
I'm fine with any of the guys on the list, not Vele though. So you can. All right. Ridley's good.
I chickened out there. I just took Ridley for the ADP value.
You can never go wrong taking like 30 spots of value. You know, I mean, can't go wrong that way.
Right. All right, let's review the team for the audience and we'll talk about it. So we end up with a 3-6-7-2 here. At quarterback, we have T-Law, Brock Purdy, and we get a nice value here on Fernando Mendoza, pick 196, stack him up with Bowers. Running backs, we have David Montgomery, Ramadre, Rashad White, C-Rod, Jonah Coleman, and Jaden Blue. Feel like that came together pretty nicely. Wide receivers, Puka, Zay, Mike Evans, Marv, Travis Hunter, Jerry Jeudy, and Calvin Ridley. And then tight ends, we have the Hammer, Brock Bowers, and then Brenton Strange for the stack. So in terms of correlation, we have a triple here with I'm going to include it as a triple, but C-Rod doesn't catch passes, but Trevor, C-Rod, Hunter, and Strange. And then we have a bring back here with Rashad White. And then we have Brock Purdy. We stacked him up with Mike Evans, no Philly pieces. That's okay. And then Mendoza, as I mentioned, with Brock Bowers. And then we have the Marv bring back in that week 17 game. So other than that, no other. Oh, yeah, we have some correlation here with Jonah Coleman and Ramadre week 17. So that's a 1v1 that we were able to get. And then I think that's it. What do you think of the team?
Yeah, I mean, I think it feels pretty good. We almost did kind of like a 0 RB or close to a 0 RB, Monty in the fourth almost. So like I think it came out pretty good. I think we caught up at running back enough to make it reasonable. And I think all our other rooms feel really strong. It's just as long as we caught up enough at running back, I think we're good. And I think that double tap with White and Rodriguez really helped kind of bring it together and like feel safer with the floor where those guys can help fill in that RB2 spot if we need, or maybe even hit the flex some weeks if our top 2 guys are looking good. I think, the receiver room felt really nice. I think the quarterbacks with the T-Law, Purdy, Mendoza obviously feels very strong. Bowers, tight end one in the planet, feels strong always. So yeah, I think it's just the running back room is our weakest point of this team, and I think our top 4 feel plenty good to fill those spots. And,
Yeah.
I think receiver feels good because we got a lot of capital early and got some high upside guys late.
Yeah, I like this because it's like guys that have roles and then, 2 sort of upside swings here. Jaden Blue, maybe he gets it together here, the second year and he comes on strong. There isn't a lot of competition in that backfield, once you get past Javante, it's basically Blue, like Maffa, the other guys. It's like whatever, get out of here. So Blue, and he could have a role in on third downs and 2 minute. So I like that. And then Coleman, he's getting the camp buzz. If anything happens to Dobbins, he does have a lot of injury risk. And then RJ Harvey, like was super inefficient his rookie year, particularly in the rushing game. So if he just continues to be inefficient, and Coleman's looking good, maybe he starts to steal snaps. So I like how we constructed it. When you just sort of look at the roster construction, you kind of got the 4 guys up here and then kind of the upside swings in Coleman and Blue. And then obviously we started off super strong here with the wide receivers. So, the back end talent, yeah, we'll say what you want about Judy and Ridley. It's fine if they can just, get 1 or 2 spike weeks and hit the lineup. That's kind of all we need them to do. But the game stack, like Jacksonville, Washington, that's definitely one I'm targeting for week 17. So to get that, and I like what we did here. Like when you look at this middle part of the board, like we just went Washington, Jacksonville, Jackson. It's like we just built out that game like right here in these middle rounds. So I don't know, it's kind of fun if nothing else.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. 3 straight Jaguars. We did 3 straight.
Yeah, exactly. That was fun. It was just like Jag. Like screw you guys.
Yeah. But hey, when they give you the value on T-Law, right, then you build out of it and you just start stacking the Jags. They gave us a value on T-Law and we made it work.
I like that call because it was like, what was it, Manungai? And he ended up going to like he went way late. So like and anytime you do see T-Law here at like 93, it's like, okay, I don't care if I don't have any pieces like up top. Like we're gonna figure out how to make this work. So I thought that was a really sharp click on your part.
Well, and we didn't even get Jacoby. I like T-Law a lot naked because there's so many options to backstack them that feel like pretty viable. It's not like 18th rounders, right? You get Jacoby, Hunter, or Strange, obviously C-Rod as well. So it's like I like him just because you have a lot of options. Where some quarterbacks, it's like, okay, I'm taking them naked, and it's just like you take Jordan Love naked. There's not a Packer that goes later unless you Marshawn Lloyd, I guess.
Oh yeah, I hate that. Yeah, you gotta front stack Love, right? There's no other way to do it. He's one of those guys. It's like if you don't get the pieces up top, you can't really take him unless you're gonna take him unstacked, which I don't really want to do. Like he doesn't have enough like rushing upside to be like an unstacked quarterback. So right. Yeah, I think T-Law is good in that sense. I mean, you do have the pieces up top, right? You do have the BTJ and the Parker Washington, but if you don't get those, you can still click. So yeah, that was sharp. I like it.
Yeah. Oh, and so I don't know if we want to check out any of the chat team. I know Kevin said, I like the way my draft started, then I lost it at the Downs pick, ran out of time, then I lost focus.
Jonas Kevin, he's right here at he's this guy?
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
All right, let's take a look.
Let's see.
So quarterbacks, he's got Dart, Shuck, and Willis. He's got Willis stacked up with Achane. Okay, that's cool. I like doing just the 2. I think that's fun. Shuck, he's got with Olave and Jawan. Mm-hmm. And then Jackson Dart unstacked. I think that's totally fine. He doesn't need to be stacked up. But that's a good, I like this quarterback room. I think that's a solid 3. Running backs, CMC, Achane, QJ. So he's got the or Judkins, I should say, not to be confused with Quentin Johnson. Yeah. Can't do the QJ thing now that we've got 2 of them in the league. All right, so really strong up top. I mean, he goes double anchor and then comes back in the 5th and gets Judkins. So at that point, you just kind of tack on pieces. Yeah. Wide receiver. If anything,
he probably didn't even need 6. Could have definitely stopped at 5.
I don't think you're right. I don't think you need 6 on this one. Wide receivers, Olave, Wilson, Metcalf, Downs, Branch, Wicks, and Allen. I think from a player perspective, this is pretty sweet, and you can get away with 7, I probably would have wanted an 8th on this. Like I would have probably turned this Katron pick into a wide receiver and just, just for a little bit more volume. But I do like the room. What do you think?
I pretty much completely agree. I think Katron or Mike Washington being a receiver probably makes this team feel a little bit better. But overall, it feels pretty solid. Like running backs, I think running backs a little overly strong, and receivers just maybe a little thinner with like the big gap between Downs and Branch. And if because he mentioned like he timed out on Downs, so if you're not a huge Downs guy, I think that's kind of where you would have liked maybe just a little bit more volume there. But I think overall it feels pretty solid. Like it's definitely not like really weak or anything. It's just
As
maybe
long
would
as
have
Keenan
preferred
signs
more
and
time.
he's got a relatively carved out role on whatever offense he signs on, I think this team is fine. I love the Wicks pick. I've been
Me too.
slamming Wicks in this range.
I have a ton of wicks. I like Branch too a lot. Like I
Yeah,
don't
Branch
mind
has
he
been
played
looking good
Branch a decent amount. I don't mind that at all. I think that's fine.
for sure. And then this tight end room, I mean, you get Laporta and Jawan. I think you can definitely stop at 2. You want to add a third, I think that's fine. But the way that this build was constructed, I think this is totally acceptable. I think the only thing I would have changed is I would have wanted one more wide receiver and one less running back. Other than that, it's a good build.
Yeah, that's solid.
Anybody else
Oh,
that wants us to take a look?
yeah. If anyone wants us to take a look, let us know quick. But yeah, we'll check it out if you want us to. Real quick, I want to address the Kamara. I was hating on Kamara. I think ETN and Kamara are okay at ADP. Mr. Mufasa says. I think the Kamara thing. I think he's an okay pick. It's just that like some people are like, oh my god, I got this crazy value. I can't believe Alvin Kamara, the best pick on the board in the 160s. Like I can't agree with that, but I think he's reasonable. What you said, like other guys are more pure handcuffs where he actually has some standalone in that range, I think is totally valid. So I don't disagree with you. I'm just some people hype him up too much, and got me a little heated, I guess. All right.
That's fair.
Oh,
Look at
what's
me.
up, Fantasy Paul Garage? Thanks for stopping by, bro. Uh, Mr. Mufasa was wondering if we could check him out.
Yeah, let's go. I got it pulled up right here. So he's out of the 11 hole. He goes with the 2.583.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Allen and Bo Nix. I think that I'm stopping at 2 on that build. Anytime I get Josh Allen, I'm almost always stopping at 2, unless it's like Josh Allen, Rodgers, and Geno or something like that, right? So top 100 here, close enough. Like that's sharp. Running backs, we have Kenneth Walker, Jalen Warren, Corum, JCM, and Kalen Black. I like that room. What do you think?
I think that's solid. Yeah, kind of like a true hero, but I like how he packed in that mid range with Warren, Corum, and Jacory.
Yeah, that's sharp. I like it. All right, wide receivers. We have CeeDee Lamb, Jalen Waddle, Parker Washington, Makai Lemon, Stribling, Flournoy, AD Mitchell, and goes for Skylar Bell, the low ownership click here to pair up with Josh Allen. I think this is a really solid wide receiver room. I don't see any real holes in here. I mean, if you're buying the Parker Washington hype, you got 3 strong up top. You got your anchor here in CD. You got some week 17 correlation here with Philly and San Francisco. He's got the stack here with Bo and Waddle, so he's able to get a single stack, and he's got some bring back. You got to bring back here with Hunter Henry. So very, very well thought out so far. And then Berg, Henry, and Dulcich. So Berg, is that just, he just likes the price on Berg. There's no like pieces. Oh, yeah, he's kind of consolidating here into Dallas. So I like that. I like consolidating into good offenses because you're sort of, it's kind of tightening up the bet in a sense, is sort of how I see it. But I do like that. This is a good build. I don't see any glaring holes. What do you think?
Yeah, I pretty much agree. I don't really see any big holes. I think yeah, I mean, like if I was gonna go crazy like nitpicking it, I guess like some of the receivers are a little less proven, so it could be a little risky, but I think capital wise they all make sense. And you got a great price on Makai Lemon too. So I think it's a really strong build. Yeah, I don't really see any weaknesses.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
mean,
Stribling's got to hit or Lemon's got to hit. Like one of those two guys has to hit for this, I think, for this to work. But I mean, and the assumption is Parker's going to be the slot and he's going to get, he's going to lead the league, not lead the league, but lead the team probably in targets. But yeah, I just think it's a good build. I guess I see what you're saying though about the profiles in the wide receiver room. But it's still solid in terms of where
yeah,
he
and I mean,
fits.
I'm really trying to like. I was really kind of nitpicking there.
Oh
Like, I
yeah,
think it's
we got a
pretty solid.
nitpick, man. We're taking the
Yeah,
gloves off.
yeah. But all right. I think we got a few more. If you got time, are you good to look
Yeah,
at
I
a
think
few
I've
more?
got time. I'll let you know if I got to drop, but so far so good. Who are we doing next?
Kale Elliott. He's at the 12.
Okay, at the
I think
12.
his name's the same. And
Oh, it is.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Or
Oh,
it'd be on
oh,
the
sorry.
left
Yeah,
side.
sorry. I'm turned around because we're in that last round. Okay, here we go.
All right.
All right. So from the 12, we have a 3-5-7-3. Matthew Stafford, Jared Goff, and Aaron Rodgers. I like that. Now these are all non-rushing quarterbacks, but I think good offenses. It's well put together. James Cook, Genty, Travion. So he gets kind of the 3 in the top 5 rounds. So that's solid. And the 2, the double anchor here with Cook and Genty. I like that pairing. Comes back and gets Bigsby, who's more of like a high value handcuff, I would say. Maybe he'll have a little bit of standalone value. I don't know how much, but right there at ADP. And then Ray Davis at 204. So good price on Ray Davis, good
And
offense. Now that's a
handcuffs is.
double. Okay, that's a handcuff. Yeah, you don't see that a lot. So what are your thoughts on handcuffs in running back rooms?
I usually wouldn't do it with a super high capital guy. It looks like he got a pretty good price on Ray Davis. He probably didn't really like the other running backs available, I'm guessing. So I think it's okay. And I do think Ray Davis is the true like replacement if Cook goes down or is out.
Mhm.
In general, I'm a little more anti it if you spent really high capital on top guy, but I think this specific with the prices, it's fine. It feels fair.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't do it very often, but every once in a while, at the very, if there's just nothing, there's no value there, it makes sense. This wide receiver room, we have T. Higgins, Luther Burden, DJ Moore, Sutton, Alec Pierce, Jawan Jennings, and Jeremy Bernard. And so, in terms of stacks, let's see. So we had unstacked Stafford here. Would have been nice to get like a stack with somebody like him. I generally like to stack guys like Stafford or Goff. It's okay, but I always try to shoot for the stack. Goff,
Are they both unstacked?
they're both unstacked. Yeah.
He,
So that's
he
something I would
doubled
try
Rogers
to.
though.
Yeah, and then he does get the Rogers piece stacked up with Jeremy Bernard. Kind of a
He got
late
Fryermuth
piece
too.
there. Oh, and Fryermuth. Okay. So double there. I
Doubled
think
Rogers.
I would be trying to target the stack a little bit more with those types of profiles, but I mean, it's not bad and it's not like you reached up to get him. It's just, you just don't get that little extra, bonus if like a guy goes off, right? So not bad, but would prefer those guys stacked up. This room is solid, right? You got Andrews and Goddard, 2 guys you can rely on, and then Pat at the back here to stack up with Rogers. So
Yeah,
in terms of
that's a
the
strong.
players and the profiles, like I really like it. I just wish my mind is like, man, I just want these guys stacked. That's like probably my only real criticism.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I think the team actually looks pretty like well-rounded, pretty strong. It's just I agree with guys that don't rush much. You would prefer to have them stacked. Like if you're gonna go on stacked, you'd prefer it to be a guy with a little bit more rushing upside than like Stafford or Goff.
Yeah.
But
I
yeah, but the
mean,
team looks
good
solid. There's
build.
no super weak like rooms or anything. So yeah, it's
And it's not
uh
like I have any sort of credibility to, criticize other teams. So I'll just put that out there. But we're here, we're
no,
live streaming. So we're going to take on that role while we're here, but take it with a grain of salt.
well, almost no one has credibility to criticize other teams, but we still do it anyways. People are happy to do it. So if people want to hear it, right?
Yeah,
We
that's true.
we said we're only reviewing if you ask, and we got almost all the people in the draft asking for a review. So they want the opinion.
Who's next?
Paul, we got Lee Geo. He's at 8, I think, or 9.
Okay. All right. Legio here. So 2592. Nice. That's a fun structure. We have Lamar Jackson and Caleb, so two elites here. Saquon, Brees, Jacobs, Monungai, and Algier. Damn, that's a good running back room. You got Saquon as your anchor. Brees gets him at a little bit of value. Jacobs, solid, flex, RB3. And then he gets the mega fall here on Monungai and Algier. I think that's a really solid.
Yeah, that's really strong at running back.
And then wide receivers, he's got Nico, Adunze. So he kind of does the the hero wide receiver here, gets it at 16, comes back and grabs Adunze at 57, and then it's like stacking volume here. So he gets Concepcion, Debo, Shakir, Trey Harris, Jacoby Lane, and Rashad for the double stack. Oh, triple stack. Holy crap. He just slams them all.
He said I did a bit at the end to make sure I got the Baltimore wide receiver too. He's got it locked up no matter what.
That's true. He does. Yeah. And then Tucker and Schultz. I like that. So if you get Tuck, you've got an elite and then you can stop at 2. This is a well-constructed team for sure. It's kind of fun too because he does like kind of a more extreme hero wide receiver, but it allows him to get super strong here at the running back room. I like this build a lot. What do you think?
Yeah, I think he played it pretty much perfect, like with this structure as well, where he went with the two QBs, 2 tight ends, only 5 running backs. Just keep those all at like kind of the minimum volumes that are good, and then just really pound out volume at receiver since he kind of waited after the hero. I think he built it out like really well. I like the, I even like I'm a Khalil Shakir hater. I think he fits perfect on this team. I think
these are good profiles too. I mean, Nico and Rome, and then he's taking the upside swing. Concepcion, Debo's kind of probably more, he's a spike guy at this point, but a good offense. Shakir, I like him for his floor. Trey Harris, second year breakout upside, and then he's like, I'll get my wide receiver 2 here in the Baltimore offense, stacked up with Lamar. So I mean, the roster construction, I give it an A, like A+. Like it's super solid.
He says, watch it be Tez Walker. Yeah, if it's Tez Walker, then the team might be dead. But but otherwise, I think you got the wide receiver 2 locked up.
And he has the double too here with Caleb. He was super patient, got Monungai, and then got the Rome stack. So well put together team.
Yeah, and I think he did really well with like how to spread out the volume and all that, or spread out the capital. Mm-hmm. I like that team quite a bit, and it's a little bit different than the norm, but I feel like it totally makes sense. Like nothing about it seems like way weird or anything, and where a 2592 is not a typical build, and it feels like
he built it the way you're supposed to build it when you make the investments where you make it. That's why I give the roster construction like an A. Like take out the players and you kind of just look at the capital. Like it's very well put together.
Let's check out take a quick look at Buddy Man. Pretty stoked on this one. So let's check out Mike's team. He's right in the
Buddy
middle.
Man, let's go.
We got one more after that. Then we're
okay.
Then we made
so from the 6 hole here, got some goat horns. 2583. We have double elite here, Jaden Daniels and Jalen Hurts. Running backs, Jonathan Taylor, Derrick Henry, and Scat. Dobbins and Keaton Mitchell. Damn, that's a good running back room.
Crazy strong running backs again.
Wide receivers, Smith, McLaurin. So he's kind of doing like the double anchor kind of sort of here. Wide receiver comes back and gets Wilson at 102. Jacoby, Coker, Bryant, Horton, and Williams. He has the stack here with Hurts and Smith, and then he's got Jaden, McLaurin stacked up, and then he grabs Williams at the end for the double and Chig, so he turns that into a triple. That's sick. He's got the single stack there with Smith. In terms of like games and stuff, like I don't necessarily see. Oh yeah, he's got some Carolina, Seattle, and Washington, Jacksonville, so he does have that game built out a little bit. This is a super solid team. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think so too. I think it helped him a lot that Michael Wilson and Jacoby fell a little bit to him. I think that helped a lot with the receiver room. Yeah, because like if in those spots, if he didn't really get a good receiver back, like I feel like it would look a lot thinner. I think those picks really helped, and yeah, I mean, I think it came out pretty good. Obviously, like crazy strong running back room, great quarterbacks.
Hell yeah.
Tight ends are good enough probably. And yeah, and I think receiver ended up being fine, even though you pushed it just because you got some good values there. So I think it worked out pretty
It
good.
could have blown up if these guys weren't there, but because they were there, like all's well that ends well. So, he made it work.
And hit him with the gritty. He gets to hit him with the gritty stamp of approval.
Well, there
You
you
know,
go. That's all you
I
need.
guess I guess see like this is kind of like I guess similar to something gritty would maybe build, right?
Oh
Double
yeah, I
elite
actually thought this
QB.
was Grady's theme for us. I was like, wait, is this Grady? Like, yeah, it's got
Yeah.
that feel to it.
Yeah, but I mean it's a solid team. I think it's totally like totally viable, solid team. But yeah, but those receiver falls, I think they did help quite a bit. That helped really
Oh
help it
yeah.
come together. And then we got Tika. Tika 144. Yeah,
Okay.
that's best ball on
All right, let's
call.
do it.
Yeah.
All right, so from the 8 hole, 3-5-7-3, Justin Herbert, Sam Darnold, and we've got a Carson Beck sighting. All right, love it.
Here we go.
Running backs, Omarion Hampton, Bucky, Chuba, Mason, and Sharbs. He's got his anchor here with Hampton, so betting on a big year from Hampton. Comes back and gets Bucky in the 5th. And then a little slide here on Chuba. And then Mason and Sharbs. I think that's enough, right? I think you can get there with those 5.
Yeah.
Feels pretty good.
Yeah, those top four feel good enough that throwing Sharbs on for the late season upside, I think makes sense. You have 4 guys guaranteed to be on the field every week. So it's like you should be able to cover with them.
Sharbs catches passes, and he's got the Darnold, Sharbs, Shaheed, Barner stack, and then he brings it back with Tet and Chuba.
Best ball on call is a very correlated drafter. He correlates every time.
Cool.
He's very good about it.
Yeah, that looks good. He did the Carson Beck, Trey McBride stack. No bringbacks here with
Jalen Naylor.
Oh, Jalen Naylor bring back. Okay, I missed that. Good call. You're like, he's super correlated.
He's invisible.
And I say, and he's like not correlated. And you're like, no, it is.
Naylor's just invisible to you, I think is the issue, huh?
Yeah, Naylor's invisible to me. I clicked him a few times, but I'm so into Trey Tucker, but it's fine.
I'm the same.
Yeah. And then let's look at this wide receiver room. So St. Brown, Tet, BTJ, Michael Pittman, Shaheed, Naylor, and Tank Dell. Solid 7. I mean, you have really 4 you can argue are going to be really consistent. Shaheed maybe a little bit less consistent, but super spike week type of profile. Hopefully Tank Dell is healthy and comes back, and he's a factor this year. If he is, that's a solid pick there at 185. And then McBride and Barner. I mean, you could stop at 2, but then he tacks on Mason here. What is that week 17 game? Minnesota. He wanted that for. I was chasing it down because once you told me he was like super correlated, I knew I was going to find something.
Yeah, Mason Taylor's interesting. I haven't seen him much, but I know with Chig dealing or not Chig. What's nuts? Kenny on Sadiq dealing with the hernia. I guess maybe let's lean them towards Mason Taylor a little bit.
Mm-hmm. And then he must have watched the Hall of Fame games, so he grabbed Carson Beck. I like it. It's fun.
Yeah, that's a solid team. I like that team quite a bit. It like the Mason Taylor pick is like it feels a little weird, but I feel like he did have the luxury. Like he didn't really need a running back or receiver, and yeah, like I think it feels fine grabbing Mason Taylor there. You kind of had the luxury to grab that like third tight end. You didn't need it anywhere else, so.
I'm sure he was trying to stack Herbert here. He got the Hampton piece. I'm sure he probably wanted like Trey Harris or something else, and maybe it just didn't work out. But still solid with just it's the QB-RB stack, which is fine. It works, and Hampton is involved in the passing game. He's not really like not like a downfield type of threat in that. It's more like behind the line of scrimmage type stuff. But it's fine. He's involved enough in the passing game, and you don't even need a stack up Herbert to be completely fair. I think he's enough of a rusher where he could have gone totally unstacked with that.
Yeah.
And he does say that the pieces went before him, so he was trying to get stacks there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. And I think, you built out some other decent game stacks and all that too. So I think, yeah, like you said, Herbert runs enough. It's fine to not really have him super stacked, and having him with Hampton, I think, is enough. So I
Yeah.
think that team feels really solid though.
All these teams are good, man. We're gonna have a hard time getting out of here.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, the EV is terrible in this lobby. Hey, what's up, Hulk Smash? Thanks for stopping by, bro.
Was that it, or was there one more after this?
I think that's it. I mean, since we went through pretty much everyone, we could let me look real quick. Yeah, no, we got them all. We got them all because we got Legion, we got Tika, we got Kiker, we got Buddy Man, we got Kale Elliott, we got Mr. Mufasa, right? We got them all.
Sweet.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, sharp room. Fastball on call.
All right. Well, I think so I think that's gonna be it for us today, right? You gotta head out pretty soon.
Yeah, I gotta jump here. I got some family stuff going on, but this was a blast, man. Thanks for having me on, putting this together.
Yeah, no, this is a good time for sure. And Nate, I mean, so I dropped Fantasy Fitness's link here. He's streaming pretty much every day, so go check him out, drop a subscribe. We co-stream this, so you should just be able to click right on his. He's live right now too. But yeah, go check him out, drop a sub, drop a like. He's streaming probably even more often than me. So
We'll
yeah,
we'll get together again soon here. We'll collab, in the next couple of weeks. This was fun. I had a good time.
yeah, for sure. Good stuff, guys. Hey, appreciate it. Hey, yeah, thanks everyone for drafting with us, chatting, stopping by, yeah, chatting, drafting. Always a good time. Always a good time drafting you guys and chatting. And I'll be back on probably tomorrow. I actually have a stream with Young Moolah, Gab Sports tomorrow morning, so I'll be back on that. Maybe on my channel later in the day, but not quite sure. But yeah, so we'll be back again soon. Thanks everyone for stopping by, drafting with us, chatting. Peace.
Peace.